This is the happiest I've ever been.
I so enjoy these family get-togethers.
Oh my God, what is wrong with those feet? You win yourself Star Wars Monopoly.
Holy shit.
Glass of wine.
Oh my goodness. It's an etiquette. Name who's on the front. It is Grogu. Well done.
Gosh, that is a massive spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Pleonexia.
Spell it, please. P.
Yep.
L.
Yep.
E.
Yep.
O.
Yep.
N.
Yep.
P.
Yep.
X.
Yep.
I.
Yep.
Grogu.
Hello and welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday the 10th of December. Tonight on the show, we've ripped ourselves away from playing Cyberpunk to talk to you about Cyberpunk before we finish early and go home and play Cyberpunk. But despite Steph's outrage, I insist on playing Cyberpunk alone, but I cannot do this show alone, so I am joined by...
Gus, the coolest of the Back Pocket hosts, if you measure coolness by how much ice they have in their freezer now, due to a surplus of ice trays. Next to me...
Wait, what?
We unpack it at the end.
Okay, all right. It's Steph, who is just repping Cyberpunk in every fashion. I always talk about my t-shirt, but I feel like I put effort in it, and you don't see it because of the microphone, and now you see it.
And Peter, who was very disappointed that Nick's intro didn't conclude with, and I can't finish first without, or finish early. It was finish early.
Yeah, that's good.
Good
Oh, that's
lead-in.
good, though.
Lead-in.
That's good.
Would have been a good, yeah.
I can't finish early without you.
Oh, God. I'm glad that,
So explain the ice thing.
Well, did we talk about last week the fact that, before we get into Cyberpunk, I need to talk about my ashtrays.
Yep.
Last week I snapped, I talked about the fact that I bought an ice tray and I snapped it because they're these new shit ones that they only pop out with silicone at the bottom.
Right, yes.
I twisted it, I broke it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But now I'm like, I broke my ice trays. So I bought a bunch off Amazon, and so I bought like a pack of 8 or something, and now I've been like obsessively pumping ice out into a drawer.
A pack of 8 what?
Ice trays that each
8 trays of
8 by 8 cubes?
something like
10
that.
cubes? Can you make 80 cubes of ice?
Well, I can now because someone sent via the PO box a whole bunch of ice trays, the same ones again. I was like, I should do something nice, like give these to someone or make more ice. So right now I have 2 drawers in my freezer that are just full of ice, like that deep, and I'm loving it. I'm in heaven.
That's
I'm making
funny.
smoothies, I'm making frappes, I'm making everything. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Do you need ice for a smoothie? I mean, I guess
You totally do.
Yeah.
crunch it through, yeah.
You
But
Totally
you can put it in afterwards. You make that frappe, you get it in some kind of like NutriBullet, and you got yourself,
What's the
slushy.
difference between a smoothie and a frappe? Amount
Frappe's
of
got
ice?
heaps more ice.
Frappe is more of an icy, slushy type drink.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Whereas a smoothie is more creamy.
I'm making a really hot coffee,
Sometimes
and I'm
has
dropping
yogurt.
1 ice cube in there just to like watch it crackle and burn, but also make my coffee drinkable.
Some men just like to watch the ice crack.
So thank you to, I don't think there was a name or anything, but thank you to whoever it was who did send via the PO box me some extra ice trays because I'm very cool right now.
I very much enjoyed because I brought it in and I sort of like, I had opened it up because it was just addressed to Back Pocket, so I ripped the thing open, ice trays, and I sort of go, oh, right, okay, Gus must have ordered them for here, and I just tossed them on his desk. He's like, what are these? I was like, these are ice trays. Why? Because you spoke about it at the show last week. And he's like, did I order 2 things from Amazon again? And then
I have done
went,
that, yeah.
Went into your account and you're like, have I done it again? So thank you very much to the person who did that. Also, a massive thank you, while we're talking, thank you people for sending things in. Evil Spy Boy sent me a couple of custom controller holders, sorry. For
These are the 3D printed ones.
Yeah, the 3D printed ones, which you sort of just mount on a wall or inside a shelf or something to hook them on, which is very cool. He also sent a baby Yoda, which I put on your desk.
Is that what that is?
Yes, that's what that is.
I just didn't know because of the name.
And he said this, in case of Dungeons and or Dragons break glass.
Oh, I love that.
Basically just going crazy with a 3D printer.
Yay. And you can put your own dice in there.
Put your dice
Oh, I
in.
see. Right, there's none in there though, because I'm like,
Is that what of that is 3D? What of that is 3D printed?
He 3D printed the little cutout thing.
wait, really?
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And
I do love that.
But then we put dye in it.
Yeah.
And then we re-glass it.
And then
Okay.
And
break
then if, you two
Yep.
nerds ever feel like you suddenly need to break out the D&D.
Who are you talking to?
Steph? What's happening?
I have several D&D dice that would look great in that.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Pete and I only played D&D to spite ourselves.
Digitally,
yeah. But that is lovely. I love how people with 3D printers go nuts with them. Like, they obviously put a big investment. They make the things that they go, these were the important things I needed to make. These are a bunch of like little screws that you can't buy, or these are the really important little things. And then they're like, obviously, I want to make more things. So they go online, they just find digital models of things like this. So there's like
I'm trying to think what I would print.
You could print a tiny little Xbox Series X.
I mean,
or what anyone would consider a normal size console, but this is actually just a mini PlayStation 5. Yeah, it's as close as you're going to get.
You have one now.
And it's smaller than all of yours.
And it's blue.
And it's a tiny little Grocon. Grocon?
Grogan. Yeah, if anyone's still angry in the chat, I doubled down on that in the intro.
You totally did.
Yeah, I was like, fucking, like, it was.
If you weren't spoiled last week,
you'll be spoiled this week.
You've had another week.
That's beautiful. They're wonderful.
So we are very excited to be back for another show with you guys. It is, of course, the reason we're so excited is because this is the second last show for the year, and it is the season of giving back Pock-art.
Ejaculate.
it's coming out of my nose. Why?
And again.
Oh my god!
Which also now you said ejaculate, and also it's coming out of my nose.
Took a big old swig of beer right when you said that, and it's just like he was like the Exorcist. He just vomited it out of his mouth.
Also,
it was like
that's his first time having a. That's the first time you've had a sour beer as well, which I don't want to know what it feels like coming out of your nose.
Oh, man.
Why can't we just have one nice animation?
We'll put it on the YouTube channel.
It's so wholesome.
Oh, God.
We will never be able to play it on this show without defiling it somehow.
It'll be you next week.
No, I would never.
Oh, of course.
Oh my god.
Well, that's you. You get that from last week.
Oh, man.
Because Gus, you couldn't see, but because obviously last week I said something inappropriate during that, not knowing that the mics were hot, and then we were all talking about how we wanted to show people over the course of this week that intro, and no one could share it with anybody special in their life, because at one point the host goes, "Oh, they're gonna fucking come because of this." And
it's also the aggression at which you say "come" as well. Like it was just like really intense.
Strong words.
Oh, God, I am covered in beer. That was unbelievable. It is the season.
My apologies.
It is a season of giving back Pock-art. You guys have given us so much over the course of the last few months. We want to be giving you guys something back as well. So over the course of the show, over the last couple of weeks and the remainder of the shows for the year, we're giving away merch, we're giving away Christmas presents, we're giving away tons of video games, and we're also giving away some Intel prize packs. And also, thanks to our partnership with Intel for the last month of this year, we are giving away a $4,000 PC. Oh my goodness, it is such a beast because it is the Back Pocket and Intel PC giveaway. Week 1, you saw us pick out the parts and tell you what's in that PC. Week 2, you saw us design that PC, which I then went back and had a look at yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm now redrawing it by hand. So, I'm not going and grabbing the main pockety and just adding to him. I've, put him under and I'm sketched him properly. And I put all the pocketies in there. I have today added Little Will. He's now,
nice.
There's a Little Will pockety, so he's now sitting there. So on one side, you've got Pete and Steph and Scardy, little family. On the other side, you've got Papa Gus, Papa Nick, and Little Will underneath. And we're all under the arm of a pockety. I'm like, this is a family dynamic I didn't know we had. But it's there, nonetheless.
I mean, it makes sense, though, because Will has said to me, and it's very obvious, that a lot of his performance dynamic came from mimicking me when I did Pocket.
Right.
And a lot of his, but he's also an editor, which is what you are. So you join those two things together.
That's true.
He is actually our child.
Wow.
He's me on camera and you behind
your
camera.
powers combined.
Correct.
He is.
Yeah.
And in order to get that $4,000 PC, we've been running a competition over the last couple of weeks. You've got about a week still to enter it, and that is you take a classic Christmas carol and rewrite the lyrics to make it back pocket or video game themed. Submit it to us. We're going to pick out the finalists and then get you guys to call in live during the show next week, and we will pick a winner live on air. There is a link in the chat right now for that form. You can also go to all of our socials. There's a link there. We'll be plugging it a ton over the next few days, so there's plenty of time to enter, but time is also running out. So please enter, and a massive thank you to Intel for making that possible. We'll talk more about that PC later, but the other thing we do need to cover is it's not the only competition that we're running, because as you've seen here, there's just a ton of M&Ms on the table.
Which is kind of normal. Like that wouldn't surprise anyone who's a long-time watcher of the show. But it's the way that they're displayed on the table that might raise some questions. Proudly, yeah.
And
not being eaten as well, which must be
We're
Bountifully.
being very restrained.
Yeah.
people must be very confused as to why we're not gorging ourselves on them currently.
I am restraining myself because as well with the Intel partnership that we've been running, they've also been giving us a few NUC PCs to have around the office, and obviously it's what we're doing all our gameplay on. You see the NUC PC here. This is the carry case that the NUC comes in because it's so small. You can just carry this bad boy to the LAN parties that you have, or to like work, or when you go on a holiday, like a hotel, and you could just plug it in. And
Hotel
continue.
is probably the most, because I saw you sort of like reaching for examples there that like, wait, we don't really go to LANs anymore, and there's like work you can do remote
You
stuff.
don't.
But like a hotel, like taking it traveling.
His best friend is ice.
Hotel, or I feel like it's a good under your TV PC.
Yes, yeah,
Under your
totally. And
TV,
that's why I'm thinking the hotel and the home like under the TV is a great situation for it to have like, just have your gaming PC set up with your giant awesome TV.
When I was a child, my parents' favorite pastime was getting divorced, and so I bounced between 3 houses a week. Growing up, I would have loved something like this to just be able to take between those houses. That's what I want, and that's what you can do with that carry case. But Intel want to give away a prize pack as well, and so what we've done, we've taken this carry case, we've filled this carry case with M&Ms. We want you to guess how many M&Ms, original chocolate M&Ms, are in the NUC carry case. We will, you guess.
Raise it up, Gus, so people can see
yeah,
the
can you
whole
lift-
case.
Right.
I filled it and counted it.
Yeah,
I never actually picked it up.
It's not one of those things like the jelly beans in the jar where there's like a huge something in the middle. Like this is legitimately.
You're way off, Mike.
Did one fall out?
No.
No, it fell deep. It fell deeper.
Okay.
Because the component trays are still in there. They're in and around trays as well to
Yeah.
trick you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry, what I was
exactly.
saying is there's nothing in there hiding that's like a big object that we've just gone, we tricked you, there's only, however many are on the top. It's like, that is full to the brim.
That is full to the brim. And so we want you to guess. The way that you guess,
Should be noted, not peanut, someone said in the chat. That
Yeah.
changes your answer.
Original chocolate.
original chocolate, not
Yep.
crispy, not caramel, original chocolate.
Not pretzel.
The way that you enter this competition, one of our mods, Gat, has actually designed a piece of software and a bot to be able to handle this competition in chat. All you need to do is type !guess, GUESS, and then space, and then the number that you guess. No commas or any other sort of punctuation around it. So, for example, you go !guess.
Someone just guessed 32.
You're
well,
wrong.
it's more than 32.
You're wrong.
How does this work? Can you spam the guesses?
After 60 seconds.
So, you
reset.
can't spam guesses.
Yeah, right.
Because if you guess again, it changes your guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's how
Okay.
that works.
So
Yeah,
it's
cool.
like your most recent guess is the answer you have to sit with.
Exactly.
All right.
And then the person who gets it closest at the end of the night is going to win themselves 2 video games of their choice, an Intel prize pack, which includes a headset, Intel mousepad, Intel hoodie. They'll get a back pocket mug, and they'll get one of the presents from under the tree as well. And by tree, I mean the table.
Yes.
All that stuff.
What's this contest called?
It's called
Oh, there's a card for this.
Angus. Thank you very much.
Just saying,
We'll bring it up again at the end of the show, but we'll bring it up now.
Oh,
because
you know
this
what?
Is,
I don't have it. Hang on.
the blame shifts all of a sudden.
That's fine.
Right.
You worked so hard.
I
For
did.
nothing.
Pete, give me
go for
just
it.
give me a wink when you're ready.
The idea is then to fill between the time not to go wink when you're ready and stare at him in silence.
No, let's just sit in a comfortable silence. It's a thing that exists.
There we go, up on screen.
Yay!
It's Intel M&M&NUC.
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 He's got so many M&Ms in him.
He's doing what you did before.
Oh, yeah.
Vomiting
Yeah.
suddenly and comically out of his mouth.
I mentioned to Steph before we went live that like that picture raises a lot of questions about the anatomy of the pocket.
I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that.
Oh, yeah. Like, where do the...
I don't think we should go there.
No, but it's if they fill the top, they come out the mouth.
Right.
He's
Digested?
implying that there are no other holes in the pocket.
It's also like a funnel.
I'm just implying that like if he opens his mouth, that's what's in the pocket.
But, are they digested? Or are they coming out? They're coming out whole.
They're coming out whole because he's trying to talk and it's just blah, blah, blah.
So it's just like a slippery slide from the top of his head to his mouth.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
No, I think he's filled up, and as he's filled up, it's the gullets full, and they're all just coming out.
It's like the overflow on a sink or a bar.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
that makes
that's
sense.
it.
So we are excited to give that away later on in the show.
No butthole.
The final piece of housekeeping before we get... Too many M&Ms. The final piece of housekeeping before we get into the show proper is that it is the final month of the year, and that means it is also the final PlayStation Plus Plays competition running. And this month, the challenge is Red Dead Online. The PS Plus challenge for December is Show Off Your Posse. All you need to do is snap a screenshot of your Red Dead posse and share your entry on Twitter using the hashtag PS Plus Plays for your chance to win a Red Dead prize pack and the PlayStation Plus Plays Champions merch pack as well. Seeing on screen right now, head to PlayStation.com/plus plays for more info. We were thinking about you and I were talking about this. We were thinking about getting into Red Dead Online.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that people have said, like, just as it's gone on and on, it's gotten better. It's become more of an RPG kind of world, not just that kind of GTA Online, everyone just causing chaos. I think when it started, people were just hog-tying people left, right, and center, and now it's like people enjoy the role-playing element that they're like walking around, they're tipping hats, you know, ma'am, sir.
I always remember the fisticuffs being the funnest thing about
Yep.
Red Dead Online.
Yeah, and just the word fisticuffs as well is fun.
Good.
Be
Yeah,
able to incorporate
fisticuffs.
into your life. Yeah,
Put them there. That's what I think of fisticuffs.
you got to do the Leonardo DiCaprio and Gangs in New York situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then also while you're checking out PlayStation Plus, the free games this month are Rocket Arena, Just Cause 4, and Worms Rumble.
Worms Rumble.
You saw on the show last week.
Yeah. I was excited. I'm like, Worms Rumble. I like worms.
I like worms. That's the most wholesome thing you've said. It's only the most wholesome thing that's been said on this show so
That's
far
true.
tonight. And finally, there's also a free multiplayer weekend running Saturday, December 19th until 11:59 on Sunday, December 20th. So get in your free multiplayer then while you can. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen.
Before we jump in,
Please.
Sorry, Pete had to jump up and do that before because I just wanted to quickly go around the room and have a stab ourselves at like, what do we think is in there? I know you know.
Right. I know. So I'm not
know.
getting
Yeah, and I've heard you say
Oh, I don't.
a figure.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I have no idea.
Neither do
I
I.
was asking today, I was like, I hope you counted them before you put them in and that it's not our job when the competition
The last-
ends to count
The
them
last
one
hour
by
of this
one.
show is us going, one,
But do you have like? Because I'm terrible at estimating.
Yeah.
Like length, amount.
and you understand you know the mass of it now as well because you lifted it.
That does nothing for me. That does nothing to help. But like,
You lift all those ice trays.
that's true. That's true. And on my
Like, I'm
deadlifting,
trying to think about, like, I don't know, like, what is us?
just have a shot in the dark.
Just guess a number.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna
what?
say
Like a centimeter top layer. How many would that be? And then I'm trying to like extrapolate.
work your way go down from there.
Gus, guess a number.
I'm gonna say 7,002.
All right. Stephanie.
I should do that in the chat. No, wait, then I'd win. Because I'm right.
Presumptuous.
I'm gonna say
This is taking way too long.
12,004.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Okay,
cool.
okay.
Nearly double his.
Yeah.
Interesting choices. Alrighty, let's jump into the show proper. We can't wait to get your guess at the end of the show. And also, we've seen a ton in the chat right now. And so excited for the guesses to be finished so we can start talking about Cyberpunk, because that is what we all have been playing.
No. That's no.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. That was a real
It
moment of
sounded
truth
like
there.
a protest. Actually, I am against us talking about Cyberpunk.
So funny.
And I waited
Those
until
things
this
fine.
moment to voice that
I
opinion.
refuse.
I'm just saying, what you'll be playing brought to you by Brent Jones, aka Loki Cat. Loki Cat always bringing us the what you've been playing. And if you were to cyberpunk yourself with one part of a cat, what part of the cat would it be?
Wait, you say is that the bit I'd add?
Yep.
Ears.
Cat ears?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cute.
metal cat ears.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
those ones.
Functional or just 'cause it's
Functional.
cute? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do they have good hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
They've got like satellite dishes on their head.
I mean, I suppose I'd just get like. I suppose I just want the little toe beans that cats have, but on the tips of my fingers.
Oh, that's terrifying on a human hand, though. Like on a paw, it's adorable. Then you just have like large pink lumps on
You'd
your
have good
fingers.
pads
Yeah.
for dropping onto the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter?
I would take not all the teeth, but just the little front teeth. You know, the tiny fucking
Oh,
teeth.
in the
Cute.
middle?
Cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just have a
yeah.
full row of those like tiny teeth.
Interesting.
That's nice.
Nicholas?
I was going to guess that just the attitude is
Yeah,
what
nice.
I would get installed.
Yeah.
But I would actually take
An
the feet
aloofness.
in the hope that it would give me the nimbleness of a cat.
Have a tail.
I don't know. A tail would
Big
give
metal
a-
tail, big metal side.
How would you
tail.
sit there right now with the tail?
Uncomfortably.
This is why you don't see cats sitting on a couch with their legs crossed.
like this.
I wonder if we might suggest that the guessing of the M&Ms be like pushed to the end of the show, maybe, because it just seems to be hijacking chat quite.
Yeah, well, if you guys are done guessing, stop guessing and start
Gat
talking to us
can
about...
pause it, I think, as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
If
yeah.
you can, Gat, pause it.
Yeah.
Shut them up.
And
Shut
then-
them up.
Yeah, just shut them up. And then we'll open it up again for a couple of minutes just before we guess, and then we'll get back into it.
And we'll do that by showing a lovely image of a pockety full of M&Ms.
Thank you, Gat.
Guessing will close in 1 minute, says Gat. Thank you
there you
very
go.
much, Gat. All right.
And we'll open it back up at the end.
The game, we've all been playing a little bit of stuff here and there, but the game that we've really been playing today has been Cyberpunk. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been playing it as well. This is a game that we've been waiting for nearly a decade since it was announced. It's finally out today after many much publicized delays and waits and everything. Let's start off with just how many hours we've put in and what life path we all started with, and then we can sort of jump in. Gus?
So I'm a street kid.
Yep.
And I've probably put around 5 hours in. Not many, and I'll get to that why shortly. Stephanie?
I chose Nomad to start with. I'm contemplating re-rolling this weekend, but I just wanted to see what the Nomad life path was like. I think I probably played about 5 hours as well.
Okay.
I think I played it in kind of sporadic chunks, so I'm not really sure, but I feel like I'm just sort of almost through the prologue-y part now.
Sure.
This is my gameplay. I think the street kid, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're a street
And I played about 2.5 hours.
Gotcha.
And I played Corpo, and I've done about 3.5 hours, I think. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we're all roughly in the same area. No one's hit the title card, I think, yet.
No.
Yes.
No.
So we are still in.
There's more title card?
Yeah, right.
It's like Ubisoft is the same thing where you just play for like a few hours, then it's like the game starts
Yeah.
now.
Nick and Pete, you're both playing on PC.
Yes.
Stephanie, PS5.
It is a PS4 version of the game on the PS5.
Gotcha. Well, I'm playing the PS4 version on the PS4.
PS4 Pro or PS4 original?
PS4.
OG PS4. Oh my goodness, we've got the entire gamut here.
We do.
So we'll start with just like technical stuff, I suppose, and then we can get into impressions of the game and gameplay. But also just in terms of spoilers, what do we want to do? Like I'm thinking light, not spoilers, but just like hints at what
I
the
don't know what I
first
could spoil.
I,
right?
I
20
think,
minutes of the game.
yeah, I don't feel like there's anything. It's not like we're going to talk about like deep plot stuff.
Yeah.
And neither of us are far enough into the story, I think, to give away anything that would upset anyone. I think anyone who wants the ultimate pure cyberpunk experience isn't watching right now or will not
Probably
watch.
be playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the footage is the first hour. And I don't think there's a single frame of game that happens in the first hour, aside from this little intro, this little street kid intro that wasn't released.
Oh, yeah.
I
All the missions were like, I've seen all of this.
Yeah.
I've seen all of this.
I was
Yeah, right.
surprised that they put so much early game stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it was very much like deja vu. I'm like, I feel like I've just seen this for the last year.
Yeah, funny. I avoided watching all of that stuff, but I was
Same.
aware that they had been releasing big chunks of it. I just knew that a lot of it was being played in that very staged way where it's like a lot of slow walking and panning and playing it exactly the way. And yeah, CD Projekt Red have been pretty, upfront about how up until release it was all footage that they had released. There was no review copy out there that had been captured and then put into reviews. A lot of them big players in the review games weren't putting any, or they couldn't put any of their own footage in up until release. And a big reason of that was there's been a lot of bugs, a lot of reports about lots of bugs in the game in terms of performance. And yeah, that seems to be ongoing. There's a lot of stuff to do with day one patches that haven't really fixed everything, but what would you expect? But yeah, I wanted to ask then you guys, like technically, how are you feeling at play from a performance level and also those bugs that everyone's talking about?
Well, if we go, let's go like top down.
Yeah.
Pete and I are playing
What's
on
the
PC.
funniest thing that's happened so far?
Well, Pete and I are playing on PC. Pete, you're playing with a 3090.
Yeah.
I'm playing with a 3080. I assume you just cranked max.
Yeah.
I'm cranked max as well.
I like that it's psycho.
It is psycho. Ray tracing lighting option is psycho. And we're both playing in 1440p.
Yeah, 3440 by 1440.
Yeah, in
Or
and a
3560
20
by 1440. I can't
That's
remember.
ultra wide.
ultra
wide.
21.9
21.9.
ultra wide and sort of like in between 1080 and 4K.
Sure.
Game looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's I don't think there's a better looking game.
No, it's insane.
For the scale of it plus the visuals of it, there's not a better looking game.
It is the stuff of driving or going through the city and just having I realized very few times in video games do you have cities and stuff where it's closed in above you in terms of like dark skies, cars flying above you, or little buildings really oppressively over you. Most cities are like the sky is up there, and so there's this sense of like everything is here and then it disappears. Whereas I'm feeling like I'm totally in a world. I pulled the blinds down today, turned off all the lights. I was just like completely in this. When it started raining, I was just like, I feel like I'm looking at a fucking window right now.
It's such a mood, isn't it? Like everything about the city and the aesthetic is just so perfect for the genre. Like they've spent so much time, I imagine, kind of world building and doing kind of mood boards and stuff like that to set the scene. And I feel like the city is the hero by far.
Totally.
Totally.
So it's running.
But I will say that like the ray tracing and like the ultra setting capability of this is, from what I've seen over your shoulder as well, is kind of what sets this apart from being. It's what makes it more than just a good version of an old thing. It's what makes it the best version of an old thing, from what I've played so far. So, like, the way that the lighting in particular impacts the mood of a scene is, like, unparalleled. And even playing The Last of Us, which have beautiful scenes of people interacting with each other, but they've got baked in light in like pre-rendered cinematics. This being like happening in front of you in engine and with the light, the way that it moves around, and like it's a city designed for lights bouncing.
Totally, yeah.
It's just incredible.
And so then you're playing on PS5, but it's the PS4 version.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
So I, like, anytime I play a big open world game like this, like, for me personally and my comfort and enjoyment, don't hate me, but, like, me being on the couch trumps what the game looks like at the end of the day. Like, I've played over 100 hours of The Witcher 3 on the couch. I play every Assassin's Creed game on the couch because I like to lie down. I like to put my feet on the coffee table.
Yeah.
I starfish sometimes. Like, that is when I spend a long time. And I also feel like if I'm going to spend that much time playing a game, I like to be in a more open space. This is weird stuff, but this is just...
No, I 100% agree with you. Like, if I know
Yeah.
I'm going to sink a lot of time in, it needs to be a couch game,
Yeah.
big TV, comfortable area.
When
like,
I
if I'm at
play-
a desk sitting upright, it's a different experience.
Yeah, when I play PC, it's usually if I'm online and I'm playing with other people, and that's a different experience, and I'm engaged, like, socially and stuff like that. But, like, for me, I can't play hours and hours and hours of a game like this, like, sitting at a desk.
Sure.
So that's the compromise that I make. It's... at the game, like, runs fine on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it obviously doesn't look anything close to what it looks like on a PC, but it runs well.
Yep.
However, I say that in the sense that it's like graphically like not struggling, but
Frame rate
I've had
is-
like frame rate is fine,
Yep.
but I've had like maybe 5 or 6 just hard crashes.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Like
Like lock up.
Like as in like just
The,
like
the system catches it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah.
But it goes,
I never-
this thing failed and
Yeah.
we need to repair.
And then it goes error report, and then it just goes through. I never lose any progress, but it's like, yeah, and it usually happens. I've noticed if I pause the game and I go away for a bit and then I come back, I usually like within 60 seconds of me starting it up again, it crashes.
Did you say 5 crashes?
I would say 5 or 6, yeah.
And this is in like a 3-hour
3 hours,
window.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent.
Gus?
So yeah, I'm playing on the OG PS4 with the intention of obviously playing on PS5, so that's why I bought it on that. And it's a struggle, and that's fine. I knew it's like no surprises. A lot of people have been reporting about original consoles, old gen, like it does not run well. It tries very hard. I went in and turned off like grain, motion blur,
Yeah.
all that stuff because it just does not help a game running at like less than 20 to 15 frames.
Yeah.
Again, it hasn't deterred like the art style and the design and everything we were just talking about before. It's like that is all still there and you can still get the atmosphere from it. But for me personally, it's just the hitching up of the frame rate, some big stutters, like some solid, it'll pause and freeze up for 5 seconds and I'll just be like, I'll just wait. And then it'll kind of catch up and move along. My PlayStation might not be the healthiest as well, so I'll take that into account.
Is there a world in which patches can solve this issue?
I don't know. I think we said before, like, this feels like a game that probably shouldn't have been released on the previous gen.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, how
it's
can
just,
They got The Witcher working on a Switch, so nothing's impossible. And when I say working, it's on it.
It's for sale.
Sure. They spent so long working out that they could do it, they didn't ask if they should have been. As I said, so I played those first like 3 or maybe 4 hours, given 45 minutes in the character customizer, and they were fine. And I was like, yeah, I'm struggling here. Gunplay, suddenly everything would really slow down to a judder. I only just walked out into like the daytime of the big courtyard where it's like, hey, you can really explore here if you wanted to.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Like I was running, I was like even walking slowly up to areas where everyone was a blob. Everyone would pop in like 3 seconds later. Like they were those full just like faceless.
Because when you say stuff like that, that tells me, yeah, they should not have released it.
Yeah,
on previous gen, unless there is a world in which that can be patched and they can fix it.
Yeah,
but like,
fair enough.
But like the weird thing about it is it was a previous gen game. Like it was supposed to be out in April. It was supposed to be out before that. They were
Yeah.
building it for these consoles. Also, these are the consoles that most people are going to experience.
There was a glitch there. I don't know if people saw that. That was one of... I only had like 2... I had rock solid. Well, the frame rate kind of hit like 70 at its lowest in points, and I was like, that's a bit underwhelming. But I had 2 moments where the game was like, that's a funny bug, and that car just drove through that pole and just appeared.
Is that your
I haven't experienced.
Summoned?
No,
that was a police
right,
car
okay,
rocking up
right.
to the
I haven't
scene.
experienced
Like, it was-
any glitches that I've noticed. Like
So I've
nothing
had a few
glitchy.
cheat
I've had a
poses.
few.
A few characters just
Yeah,
going whoop, doing the old T-pose.
Right.
I had a mission where I finished it, and Jackie, who's this character here, is it Jackie?
Yep.
Who is like your sidekick or like your partner. He finished the mission. He's like, all right, let's head down to the garage. And he just turns and walks through, walks through the elevator door, but like not in a glitchy way. He like, his body like melted through it. And I was like, nah. And just like a few of those, which were pretty funny.
I had a guy eating a hamburger, and then the hamburger dropped like directly to the floor. He continued to just put his hand there, and then at the end of his movement, the hamburger sprung back up into his hand. And then I've also had lots of like notifications and overlays that pop up and then just stay up for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And it's like a mission thing that like it's like press WASD to walk, and then I'm like clear, and it goes away, and then I walk out of an elevator, and it comes up, and it stays through cutscenes, and
It just knows you haven't really got the hang of it.
it knows I doesn't. No, I don't.
I walked out of a bar early on and turned to the side, and there were 3 guys leaning up against a wall. They were the same guy, same outfit, all saying like, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Yeah, what are you looking at?" I was like, "Well, there's 3 of you."
But it is interesting, and we'll get to what we think about the game in a second.
Yes.
We just thought we would get the technical stuff out of the way because, like, we can talk about it and then we move on. But to that point of like the current gen thing, this is also how most people are going to play this game, right? Like, most people do not have 3080s, 3090s. Most people do not have PS5 and Xbox One Series X. Like, most people don't even have PS4 Pros and Xbox Series
Pros
X.
were a weird, like some mid-generation
Xbox
thing
One
that,
X's.
like, you know, a lot of people
Yeah.
have, but not as many as like your standard console.
I'm comfortable recommending it still on if people are going to play it on PS5, especially knowing that if you bought it today or earlier, I think you get a free upgrade.
That's why I
Yes,
bought
you
it on
do,
PS5. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm playing it
when it
because
comes out for PS5 proper.
Yeah, I was doing this just as a way to be like, I do not intend to play more than another few hours on this console. It was purely a way to get my hands on it early, to talk about it with you guys. The idea is to play on PS5. And then I was like, screw it, I went and bought it on PC. Because I was worried about the whole thing with PC. I don't have the same beast rigs you guys have. And so I don't love tinkering. I don't love playing, sometimes going, maybe I don't have the best settings turned on. Or maybe, what frame rate am I getting here? Like, the variables there sometimes turn me off the idea of playing on PC. But after the experience I've had on the PS4, I'm like, I'm definitely going to play on PC for now, for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, again, the last thing I would say anecdotally from seeing it running on the PS5 as the PS4 version is that, like, it is disappointing to be playing the latest game that, like, doesn't look as good, anywhere near as good as the other PS5 games. And that, to me, and again, I'm a bit of a graphic snob, but
a massive graphic snob.
It does feel like it suffers because, the game is excelling in being immersive because of how beautiful the world is. And I'm seeing with your system fewer people in the world, worse textures on those people, less atmos, less light, like just less things that you walk around the street and you see 3 identical people. It's like that's a thing that breaks the immersion immediately. And you're like, that's funny. Like I would expect to see that in
GTA.
Yeah,
but maybe even like a
not even
mid-tier game or
GTA, but
something.
like that's wonky stuff that you kind of like.
Yeah.
It's fine because it's in a video game, but like to not have any of that on the 3090, it's like holy shit, this game is impeccable.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I was giggling at the idea of Steph starfished on the couch being like, I'm having fun, and Pete behind being like,
Yeah.
no. Like, that said, that's...
I love looking at how beautiful it is, but at the same time, I just...
I feel
I
like...
won't, I won't do it.
When
I
it
won't.
comes out on PS5, when they put out the patch, it should be pretty comparable. Like,
Totally.
Like, it very, very close to what
And
PC.
probably
Yeah,
segueing
I
into
hope
what
so.
we're going to talk about, which is the actual game, the design, everything else around it. Like, I'm pushing through, or the hours I've played, I've pushed through the technical hiccups or the limitations of the PS4 or previous gen to sit in the car and look out the window while it's raining and the rain's not hitting the window correctly and it's all glitchy. But I'm still like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is my jam. Like, this
Yeah.
is such a world that I've just gone, like, this is a game I'm going to sink a lot of time into. It is stunning.
So then let's get into the game proper then. Steph, I want to start with you. I feel like emotionally you had the most invested in this game out of the 4 of us because of the pedigree of the developer, because of your love for The Witcher, and I feel like you've reset some expectations along the way when it was like, hey, it's a first-person shooter, and hey, it's like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you're still sitting there wearing a Cyberpunk t-shirt. Are you enjoying the video game Cyberpunk 2077?
Yes, I am. I just feel like I can't allow myself to like feel anything until I've played more of it. And that's not from a like, oh, I don't want to like say something that I'll regret later. It's more just like, this is such a huge game. When I go to the menu screen, it still says 1% complete. And I feel like I've played nearly 5 hours. Yeah. And but I think and I think for a game like this, for me, what's so important is like world building, world immersion, and story. Like how it looks is obviously like super appealing because I love the cyberpunk genre. And what I loved about The Witcher was that it was such great storytelling in an open world setting. So that's what I want from this. And I feel like I haven't got that yet, but that's not to say that that isn't coming. I think the other thing that was surprising to me was that my understanding of the 3 different life paths was that they were all radically different and then would eventually kind of converge into the central story. But that at the start, there would be there would be all of these different story paths that were like wildly different. So when I played through the sort of nomad storytelling, I was like, oh, I'm going to learn about like what it is to be a nomad, and I'm going to live the nomad life and then eventually end up in Night City.
Yeah.
And basically the nomad life path was me getting in a car being like, I'm leaving my nomad life behind, and then I drive straight to Night City. And I was like, oh. And then I meet the same guy that everyone else meets, and I go through the same missions that everyone else goes through.
Yeah.
And so that kind of threw me a little bit, because I was like, oh, I thought that I was going to be having this wildly different experience based on the life path that I chose. Yeah. But what I'm kind of understanding now is that there will be I'm assuming there'll be different missions available to me throughout the whole game that are more nomad focused or relate to my backstory.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's basically like a conversation power.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is how I've seen it play out so far, and I've seen in reviews that's what they saw of it as well. It was like Street Kids. I often had dialogue options of going like, "Oh, I recognize that narcotic."
Yeah.
Because I grew up on the streets.
But like when I saw how Alana Pierce is in the game.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, my quest chain will only be available on the nomad life path."
And that's not necessarily, that could totally be true, because you can only trigger certain interactions with other characters by succeeding with them in dialogue style.
Right. Okay.
Like, I mean, again, the front of the game is pretty tunneled, and I think that benefits it. I know you're waiting to get into the open world and making sure that the storytelling in the open world is good, but I do think it has a really strong narrative up front.
Yeah.
In introducing you to
Right.
the world and the characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been funneled into these missions where I've had that option, and it's definitely felt like, oh, if I play this right, I can get I'm maybe going to be able to do something that someone else couldn't if they had a different backstory.
Yeah, okay. I think it was just my understanding of it was different, so I was a little thrown when I saw that.
It was sold in that trailer in a way that felt like you're going to have a, drastically different opening.
It's called Life Path.
Yeah.
It's not called opening 10 minutes of the
Which
video
is why I was like,
game.
I'm going to choose the nomad life path, and then I'm going to re-roll a character this weekend and start from the beginning so that I can see what the different life path is like. And now I'm like, well, I don't know that I want to play through the same thing again if that's what it is.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like I don't want to judge it and based on what I've played, because I have no idea how the life path mechanic will play out through the broader game and how it will change the experience. I was just kind of thrown by that a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I was expecting a kind of like Assassin's Creed style. You've got a starting island and you can do 4 or 5 hours of something here and then go off into the main. So if you look at Valhalla, it's like you start in Norway and I'm starting in Norway and you're starting in Greenland and you're starting in Switzerland or whatever, and then we all end up in England for the bulk of the story.
Yeah.
But there's like 5 hours of like unique quests and stuff. And I did Corpo, started off in a building as an employee, have a couple of conversations with people. I then get given this task and I'm like, okay, I'm going to execute this task. I leave the building and then like that task is neutered. I do not get anywhere near beginning what looks to be set up like a big mission that I'm about to do.
Yeah.
It's literally like, I like they specifically are like, put these pieces of this thing together so that we can execute this goal. And I'm like, okay, cool, this sounds great.
Yeah.
And then I go to a bar and then it's just like, oh no, you can't do that. And then I have the montage that all of us have with Jackie, where it's like time skip. Here's the last 6 months of our life as we're shooting and dancing and drinking and constantly looking in bathroom mirrors. And I was surprised at how short that was.
I was worried. A little part of me thought, did I jump ahead? Because a big conversation around this game has been the idea that it's not as long as a main story as people expected. It is about fleshing the world out, but you can race ahead through the main story.
Yeah, I've had like 20 hours.
Yeah, you can apparently do that, but the idea is you shouldn't. That's not how to play it. And I was like, oh damn, did I quickly activate that mission and like leave my life path too early? But no, I think from everything I've seen from how Pete's played the same thing, it's like that's the one mission you're given at the start. It sets you up, but in their defense, it's a life path. So the idea is it's going to affect your life throughout the game. So you are going to have those traits, those conversational modifiers and all those things in there, which is going to lead you to have a different experience.
But it totally falls short of what... Because even if it's really interesting, and so far I've found it somewhat interesting, even if it's incredibly interesting later on, it does feel like it was a slight misrepresentation of what it was, not only in like the marketing, because they did trailers of like, here are the 3 core life paths that you can choose from, which tells you that that's important, and the start of the game kind of tells you it's important as well, and how it displays those choices to you, and how it throws you into the world. And like the thing to compare it to for me is Mass Effect, where you go, this is the historical record of your shepherd, and it was like they were a hero in a war, or it was selecting from 3 different little bits of text, and you go, I don't even remember that coming back up in all of Mass Effect, but it was like as unimportant a menu as it was to the story, whereas this is so important to the game at the start to then become nothing really quickly.
I mean, I feel like that's still on us, that we thought that was the projection of how the game begins, whereas all that stuff you see in that trailer that says, here's how a life path plays out, here's the corporo life and everything you do, again, we haven't played enough to know this, but that might be things that occur through your whole playthrough that you wouldn't be able to do if you're a nomad. So maybe, again, I'm with you, Pete, it's like a misrepresentation of how that affects your stepping off moment, but maybe it is something that means that later down the path you'll be doing a heap of corpo-style missions in high-rises, and she'll be slumming it in the desert, and Pete and I will be with boombox.
Yeah, I think what Peter says is totally true. It is a super strong start, and the narrative is kind of is like a cool way to start the story. And I wasn't having a bad time. It just, again, wasn't what I expected. And I think that, like, based on that, even just that one Alana thing, I think what you're saying is true. Is that through dialogue options, there may be opportunities to interact with people that lead into little quest chains, for example, that will not be available to other people.
Yeah.
So that thereby informing your kind
trajectory, or
based on the choice you made at the start. So
So,
sorry, Pete. This was one of the bugs that happened on my widescreen playthrough. You can see half of the UI disappeared because some of the game jumps down into 16:9, like some of the pre-rendered scenes. So it's like, but then the UI was confused about where the screen ended and then was off the screen. So I was like, I can't read that.
So then, in terms of the game and the story, I am like only a few hours in, obviously, keen to continue more. It has not grabbed me in a way as a video game. I feel like it has grabbed me as an immersive world to be in. I've just been like even though I feel like at the moment, obviously I'm still exploring a very small amount of the city. Everything is so turned up to 11 that I'm like, it all looks a bit the same to me. It's all quite, like, I can't tell you, every time I'm outside, I'm like, am I in the same spot as I was last time, or am I in a different part of the city now? Because it all is kind of like dildos and women with 3 mouths and just like, it's just all that stuff. But as a video game, I am finding that I'm not in a flow yet of how to play this game. That it doesn't, I feel like Immortals Phoenix Rising is a game that I finished at 1:00 this morning. And from the moment that the first 10 minutes of that game, I just feel like I got what to do in this game. I got what the loop of this game was, and I went, I'm having fun straight away in this game. And I don't think I'm having fun in Cyberpunk yet as a video game to be able to go, I'm enjoying the interactivity of what I'm doing with my time here. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be a flow of even controls this. A lot of them, this is all nitpicky stuff, but a lot of the menus are kind of confusing to look at for me. I'm like,
I 100% agree with you on that point. I built a character because I was like, I want to be a stealthy, hacky character. The game doesn't really encourage you to do that in the opening. So I was like, I felt a little bit frustrated and maybe at a disadvantage in that sense. But then, I I think about the hacking in Watch Dogs Legion and how easy it is and like intuitive it is,
and how quickly when you get the access to that, you go, oh, the possibilities for this open up, but also I can be instantly effective with this tool in game.
Yeah, whereas this feels much more like a hardcore RPG, which I think is a good thing ultimately.
Yeah.
But it requires more from the player to learn. And yeah, it's not a thing that you're going to be instantly good at. It's going to be the thing that you master and go like, I'm proud of the fact that I learned this system.
But that's why, again, at the moment, the fact that we haven't got to the title screen yet is why I'm so conscious of the fact that this is all like, so much of this stuff is like tutorial and like setting up the world and learning who like the antagonists are and what is your role in things and what is a net runner and what is brain dancing and all that. There's a lot of information anytime, and this happens with any kind of fantasy book or novel or anything. Like I'm doing a writing course at the moment and all my other course people are writing like modern novels and they're like, so Stephanie, like how's your book going? And I'm like, well, in Galador the magic system is thus like, and it's just like there's so much like information to explain when you're making stuff up and everything is new. So I feel like that is always in the back of my mind because I feel the same way. But at the same time, I'm like, I know that it's just like a delayed gratification because once you hit that title screen and once you have free roam of the world and you can kind of explore it at your own pace, that stuff becomes more intuitive and then it becomes more enjoyable as a result.
I definitely agree with that, and I think everything you said, totally true. I think for me, I'm just like, I've played games that are like that, but I still went, I'm looking forward to getting back into the mechanics of this game, even though I'm still in the sort of like learning phase.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm in the learning phase, and I'm like, not really sure what this game is yet.
Yeah.
Gus, how are you feeling about?
I totally agree with everything that everyone just said, and not just as a way to sort of stay on side, but it's like I agree entirely that like a game like Immortals, you see the gameplay systems ahead of you and you go, I know how this is, and it is gratifying to play in a way that you go, I'm now playing in a way that the game is intending me to play. I love that I'm so confused right now. And this is a perfect example. This is just a little area that you head through and have a little combat engagement right at the start of the game. And
I think you skipped all the combat.
I did actually. Sorry, I was just sort of like not intentionally trying to get here. And like it throws you in the deep end. And I've mentioned this before on previous streams. I really like all that, like there are tutorials. We just saw a bunch of simulation tutorials that are there that are really crucial, but you can skip them. You can move on past them. And I really enjoyed going, I'm not skipping these. I want to get good at this. I want to know what these are. And I'm reading all the text boxes. I'm not skipping anything. I'm paying as much attention as possible. Once I cleared this area, I stopped and worked out how to scan rooms, how to pick things up, why some things, like how do I scrap things, things are worth money. These are all things that like were not being drip fed to you really obviously. And I really enjoyed that because I want to do that because I love this world, because I love this aesthetic, because I love, I'm so ready to just dive into this head first. And that's what lets me then pay more attention. Or like, you know, does that make sense? It's like, I'm willing to go on this journey because I just look around and be like, oh, fuck, I love Blade Runner. I love Judge Dredd. I love Fifth Element. Oh my God. I didn't really think about this all the way up until I started moving around this world. And part of me avoided watching and thinking about this game because I knew I was going to enjoy it. Now I'm in it. I'm like, I'm going to learn about these little systems. I'm really interested in that. And I like that they are obtuse.
And while the menus are a little bit confusing, I do love like the graphic design of everything and the color choices and like the fact that everything about this is cyberpunk, like from the top to the bottom.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? It feels like it's such an aesthetic game that's so cool to kind of be in. And I really do think like, I don't know, regardless of like how I feel about the story so far, because I feel like I just have barely scratched the surface of it and it's hard to make an opinion. The joy at the moment is just being in the world. I will say there are a lot of dildos in there.
I haven't found one.
And it's very strange.
Interesting.
I understand that the way like games work is that they kind of, you create a bunch of junk items and then those items like randomly populate throughout the world. But like they decided that they were going to go hard on the kind of sex element.
It's a sexually charged city.
Yeah, which I understand is like, in the future when people kind of just live for themselves and it's like, and people are reverting to their basic instincts, like sex is a big focus. But it's just like, the sex imagery in it is like so intense.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the dildos, like they'll be like in that random combat encounter, you're just like in a warehouse with normal warehouse things. And then just sitting propped up on a shelf is a studded dildo. And you can collect that and sell it. Because there are so many people who love buying
service with Twitch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
There are so many people who just love buying used dildos, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like, yes, it's full on. And it's kind of full on in this more than it is in Blade Runner 2049, which I don't think is less like aggressive. It's like it's part of the cyberpunk ethos. It's like this sex positive future, sexy like advertising. It's getting to a heightened level of everyone can realize everything they've ever dreamed of through technology.
Yeah,
and
I feel like it's less sex positive and more like capitalization of
that's massively.
That's
and using technology to fulfill sexual desires because that's at the base of what everyone's going for in these worlds. And it definitely, like, the game, it's literally on billboards everywhere you look, but also the game pushes you towards like that in the narrative as well, like early on. So it's like, it's definitely putting it all up front of like, there's heaps of sex in the game. Just be aware of that.
As
like and not in like a clever way necessarily. As the mildly prudish, most prudish one here, like you get in the elevator and there are TV screens and speakers and you hit the button for the elevator and suddenly it just plays an ad about like sexy services that are out there and it has female voices like moaning in you and it was like moaning into your ears and I was kind of like, I'll just look at my feet for a second and everything's fine.
As the most outwardly kinky one here, I feel like the sex stuff for me, the whole tone of the world, I love the design. I love how it all looks. There's something about it. Maybe what it is like it feels like it's still being designed by a bunch of guys,
boys,
who would sort of like grew up in the 80s or something, because it very much, the hypersexualization of the world is still the hypersexualization of women. It's still, I've not seen a single guy that has been in any sort of like scenario where his sexuality is being sold.
In the advertising I haven't seen it. In the VR sex bar, I don't know what else to call it. There were, I mean, I didn't look around the whole bar, but there were definitely male models that you could buy as well into VR. Bang. So.
It's more just the feeling of like everywhere you look, it's like it still has the feeling of a world that is being made by men, and that might be part of the cyberpunk whatever, but it feels a little garish and childish as opposed to, because I think that when I think about Blade Runner, which is clearly what it's trying to be, or it's taking influence from, I think that there's no subtlety in it, and this leans far more towards like GTA cyberpunk, like social commentary. Look how shocking, like every piece of text that I read is like a very blatant there's a thing about like the best corpos to work for in the building that I was in, and it's like ranks the top 5 corporations to work for. It's like the number 1 is the one that you work for now because they offer the best working weeks because they've just lowered their mandatory working week to 80 hours. Perfect for those family conscious people out there. And I'm like, all of this has been written knowing that this is shit. Like, it's like the person writing this brochure about why this company is the best company to work for is writing, winking at you, knowing that an 80-hour work week is a nightmare. So there's no, like, it feels like the game is not coming from something like The Witcher. And I think that even though I had no expectations in terms of how the game would play or anything, but a lot of the things that I loved about The Witcher was subtlety and nuance in storytelling. And I'm seriously not far enough in the story to have any comment on that, but just how the world building at the moment, it's all very like, we know this is crazy and we've just accepted that we live in a crazy world, rather than it feeling like an authentic world that you're in that's actually like, oh, this is how we got to this future. Everything is like a wink and a nod and a GTA sarcastic, like,
I hear that, but I don't know that pushed as GTA. And I would say, like, I do appreciate that a lot of the design choices and story choices do feel like they're torn from that sort of pulpier 80s cyberpunk, like, style guide, which is what this is going harder towards, in the same way that The Witcher was going, drawing from its source material of the author of those novels being like a really adult style fantasy world. I like that this is doing that adult style thing, but it is leaning into like a kind of ill-informed 80s or like 70s to 80s when that literature and the board games and things were coming out, where that was the vibe of these things. And so they're doing it now with a kind of like sardonic sort of twist on it, but like, yeah, I like looking at it with that lens and through that lens, and then knowing that it's tongue in cheek, but there's another level to it because they know that's the source material.
And my impression, I agree with you that the world is doing that, but I think all the character interactions are countering that.
Yes,
I think all the character interactions are really emotional and real.
Yep.
From what we've seen so far, I think the relationship with Jackie is really genuine.
I love Jackie.
I really like Jackie. Yeah,
I think all the performances with even like the other like mob bossy kind of figures and that have maybe appeared to be a mob boss and become something else in like how the story played out has all happened really beautifully. So like I'm really impressed with how the narrative and relationships within that narrative are kind of playing out against the in-your-faceness of the rest of the world, of being like, oh, I'm actually emotionally connected with you after a couple of conversations, whereas I'm not meant to be emotionally attached to that street sign or that car crash or like that hovercraft blowing up a car in the street. It's like,
I think that's a really good point. Like you're definitely right in terms of like the relationship with Jackie. I think is really genuine, and
Jackie's not a completely out of left field. Like, I'm the wacky guy who just wants to blow stuff up, and like he's not a caricature. He is an actual character.
Yeah, and I think I enjoy the level of absurdity that comes from this kind of dystopic lens on the future. Like I saw one ad that was just like an ad for toothpaste, but it was like or a special type of toothbrush maybe, but it was like half of the woman's face was just like peeled away, and it was like mechanical, so that she had the toothbrush through the side of her face, and it was like the best way to clean your teeth, and like stuff like that is just like crazy, but like such a great way to view the world. It's just that when the emphasis is so much on like dildos.
This lady has 3 mouths. What could you do with her?
Yeah, it feels like a cheap way to kind of to push that kind of absurdity of the future. You know, I like the more toothbrush stuff, less dildo.
More toothbrush stuff. Yeah, I do think part of my disappointment, I think, is that I just go, most dystopic sci-fi games do this. What it's doing, this is doing it probably better in terms of how it looks than any of the others. But I'm like, I've seen this from games a ton. Like, I was hoping that this would be like a next level world that I'm in, and it's next level, I feel, in terms of like the design of it, but it's not next level in terms of like how that world, like the world building of that world, I guess, for me.
I feel like if you lose too much of that, though, you very easily fall into a dark, gritty, dystopic future, which like can be more realized and a little bit more grounded, but suddenly just loses a lot of, again, it doesn't just have to be dildos, but it's like it can very quickly realize like, oh, that's actually quite boring. Like, it's having these sparks of neon personality and advertising, all that kind of stuff there, and they are at this point reserved to sort of window dressings to a degree. So it's like, as you said, the character interactions, hopefully the missions and the story is the thing that you can really focus on. And to have all this stuff there as window dressing, I find, I think it can be ignored and can be enjoyed when you're in a car and just being like, I like that I'm here and that it is upped to 11 in that kind of sense.
It is weird. And like the more I think about it, the more there is this constant clash of over the top and really genuine.
I think you've nailed it with that. That's actually what it is.
Like, even just down to the scene that we skipped past where there's, an early mission is you break into a house and you find a woman in a bathtub and you need to resuscitate her. And her like, the way that they deliver some information to you about the world is you basically plug into her bio reader, and like part of her document is that she has like the platinum healthcare, which means
trauma team.
The trauma team's going to come and help her if she gets sick. and they didn't, so there was blocked in some way. And like not to ruin that whole mission, but like when the trauma team arrive, they're over the top.
That was
It's like there's this this militant group,
like a SWAT
that rock up,
team.
and,
Yeah.
and it's like that's still world building, but it's like the subtlety of the way that information was delivered to me through my team and the on-screen stuff versus like that GTA style. The bros are here.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Yeah.
But then part of me read into that because I was like, why are they pointing a gun at me? I'm like, well, they're clearly like a privatized service that just need to pull the body out and get that person alive. And they're clearly like they're pulling people out of dangerous situations. So they have completely armored themselves. So they're not we're here to help. We're like,
Totally.
And I was like,
But
I like
that's-
thinking about that as that happened and being like,
But that's a cool comment on like this is an extreme future of privatized healthcare in terms of like, you know, if like healthcare is only for the rich, and this is like an example. Like this is what you get if you can afford it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's also like, I mean, right now, particularly like in the States, healthcare is for the rich. But this goes that next level of like, healthcare is for the rich, and also they will kill poor people to make sure that the rich people
survive.
get
Survive,
to the
yeah.
hospital. Yeah.
my biggest takeaway from that moment, they left in a flying car, and I went and got in my car with wheels.
Totally.
Like, there's a little part of me that's like, I would
need
love this
platinum
game if
health
I was.
insurance.
Yeah. A little part of me was like, is bummed and was right from the beginning. That I'm like, ugh, you drive around on roads. I'm like, I would love.
Obviously, that's about your arc of like one day you'll be in that flying car.
I was thinking more about the games. Like, we can't let you fly around the car. We can't control it. But I'm like, that is my future of.
We can't even get a car to not drive through a pole, let alone.
I was just watching Pete's playthrough, and a car that drives off the road explodes. I'm like, mine didn't explode. Like, just awkwardly, like my PlayStation got louder.
And I feel like I have taken on the role of the negative person within here, even though I will say that like I'm looking forward to continuing to get into this game and find it. And I think there's lots to enjoy here. I hated the driving. I found the driving so difficult. There was something about it.
Sorry,
I was just oh my God, how is it so hard to drive a car in this game?
Yeah, mouse and keyboard driving. Like,
I have a controller
you
plugged in. I'm mouse and keyboard, and then I picked up a controller. Still,
I had some bugs to
considered
do with the
that for it,
controller driving as well. Like you need to turn up the sensitivity of the turning, and sometimes it'll jam and drive.
But isn't it just
I
a
found
case
the
of
groove,
like
but-
the driving is you just not in a great car at the start, and then you pick up like sick cars down the track?
No, it's more the weight
the weight.
the weight and the weight of the car,
feel
is
of it
physics
is as you drive.
like it's again one of those things where you kind of I found myself getting used to
you'll
it.
get used to it.
The first time I drove though, I hit a pedestrian straight away. The cops were next to it. I got it was just
Totally.
like a catastrophe.
And also, like it was for me, that was like, oh yeah, it would have been the same pod because at that point we converged. You literally have to drive like 3
Around the
turns
corner,
away to the Ripper, and I was the same. I was like banging into things and like I reversed and killed somebody, and then I was like, well, fuck this, and then I just hopped out, and then it's like you need to park there, and I'm
That
like,
makes me
I have to
feel
get back in.
That makes me feel better that it's just not my bad driving.
It's definitely a learning curve.
The final thing I wanted to add, which when we were talking about that sex stuff, I was something about it. It's a deliberate choice. There's a lot of nudity in the game. I'm all pro nudity.
Yeah.
The nudity I feel like catches you out. You're doing the character customizer and you're in the face and you're building the face and you're like, fuck, this is such a good character customizer. There's so many amazing blah, blah, blah. And then it's like you start scrolling down the menu and then suddenly you get to like the body stuff and then it's like, pajam! And then there's your naked body. And then even in game, which is the weirdest fucking thing, and I don't know if it's a glitch or not, I got to my apartment. Did you guys look at the mirror in your apartment?
Whenever you change clothes, it does a flash frame of you nude?
No.
Okay.
When you look in the mirror in your apartment, I go to the mirror and the mirror's like fogged out or whatever, and you like turn the mirror on by pressing a button.
Yeah.
And I appear in the mirror and I'm just completely naked standing in the mirror. And I go,
I wasn't naked, but I had no hair. And I spent
It must have
so
been a
long
glitch.
choosing my hair. And then I looked at it. And because, like, my biggest gripe with this game always is that you just don't see yourself enough. You spend so much time customizing your character and choosing your clothes. And then I was like, oh, but I'll see myself in cutscenes. No. Hasn't happened. I see myself in that montage at the start, and that was it. So then I got to my apartment and I was like, finally, a mirror. I can see myself. And I looked in the mirror and I was bald. And I was like,
that's so funny. But you were dressed.
Can I show you this?
Wait, but you were dressed? Were you dressed?
I was dressed.
So it's totally a glitch. Because I turn on the mirror and I'm just completely naked and I go, what? And I back out of the mirror and I look down and I'm wearing clothes and I'm like, what? And I go back to the mirror and turn it on and I've just got my breasts out again. And I'm like, what the fuck is.
There's definitely some glitches still happening with the clothing. I'm gonna pass this around because this is on Reddit. Someone was like, "This is the greatest glitch ever."
Okay, fantastic.
It doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. I'll just have a look first, and we'll see your reaction.
Because for
I haven't seen. Okay, well that doesn't.
You can show.
Can you flip that? And
There'll just be a little bit of. That's all they need to see. That little bit of flesh tone.
yeah.
you know what that is.
So the caption was, "No matter what pants I put on, the head of my penis just keeps popping out of my pants."
I mean,
They obviously chose the long option of dong too. And
Dong
it's
too.
just like,
Oh, you dong too.
funniest
Oh my
part
God.
was that when I went to do my nude story is that when I went to my character customizer, I was like, oh, I'll change the pants. I think I picked up some other pants.
Yeah.
And I clicked, and being the console, I think you found this, using the menus can be quite tricky. 'Cause you've
Yeah.
got the
Yeah,
virtual
yeah.
cursor, but then also your bumps move. And so I'm like, oh, what do I do? I'll change my pants. So I clicked the pants I currently had, which means unequipped pants. So my little character guy standing there loses his pants, but keeps shoes and everything else on, which, as we all know, wearing clothes but not wearing pants just emphasizes nakedity.
Yeah.
Like, nothing looks worse than no pants but a t-shirt on.
A man completely naked but wearing shoes is more naked than if he wasn't wearing.
But the t-shirt as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm like, find pants. And I was just like, the longer I was trying to look through the menu, the more he's standing there.
and it's just blowing in the breeze.
Luckily,
you went male, right?
I did, yeah. And then when you jump out,
Dong too?
I think
Someone
so.
noticed. I can't see the name as well. Another like the clothing is bugged because my fingernails when I'm driving stick out my gloves.
Oh, did you choose the long ones?
Yeah, I chose the long nails.
I chose the long nails as well. I've got.
I
your exact
regret
nails there.
choosing the long nails.
So do I.
They're longer than I thought they were, and they seem impractical. And I like a practical heroine.
And they're also they are long nails. They are not like the long nails that we see a lot at the moment, which is long and sharp at the end. They're like long and curved, and
Yeah.
it just feels like she just kept growing them to get in the Guinness World Record. Like, I'm exactly the same situation. I was like, I actually looked at my hands and I went, fuck, I thought I picked short nails, but I went long. I have the same nail polish as you. Like, I'm so happy with how my girl looks. I think she, like, fantastic character created and everything, but the nails, I'm like, as soon as I can find, like, less dildos, more nail clippers.
When she's like when she's in the car and she's like plugging in the radio and stuff like that, and in the Nomad section and stuff like that, and I can see her nails going like this, I'm just like, oh, that's
can
gonna
break
get the trigger of the gun and everything. It's just like, it's not practical. I don't like the choice. I like that you can choose your manicure. That was very cool.
I went in like everyone being like, I think I'm going to play a female character. I've been doing that more and more in games these days. I just went through all the male options and found that there is a male hair option for the most glorious locks that I've ever seen.
Oh.
That was like, as someone who misses his long hair, I was like, and then I picked facial hair and I could go the full kind of colonel moustache, the terrible wizard beard that Nick shaved for me. When I put it all there and chucked some huge metal under my eyes, I was like,
the metal cybernetic.
I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And so I picked him. And then, as everyone saw, there's a cutscene very early on that we played a little earlier, which is a quick montage of showing you going through your life with Jackie, and a few times getting too drunk and looking in the mirror, looking really haggard. And so it was a really kind of like a moment for me to see this character that kind of looked like me a month ago, going,
making poor life choices.
yeah, poor life choices, looking in the mirror. I'm like, I've been there. I'm going to stick with this character.
Gazza asked, can you change your appearance after you started? I don't think you
You can change some things about your appearance, but I can't remember exactly what.
I
There's some things
think
you can't.
it's cybernetic things.
So
Yes,
like, it's
but I
not
don't
your
think you can
hand.
change any kind of aesthetics.
Can you put like a
really?
metal
Okay,
on?
Yeah,
no haircuts or anything?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
I was really I don't understand any RPG that doesn't let you do that. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Especially,
so long.
especially one like this where it's all about like being individual and customizing yourself. You'd think that you'd be able to just go to the
Totally.
barbershop. And
One of
sit
my
down.
favorite things about Red Dead Redemption 2 was going like, I'm looking a bit scruffy because your hair just grew over time. So I was like, I'm going to go over to the barber.
The Witcher let you do
and
it.
trim
Yeah.
it.
Geralt could go and get a haircut.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I would, and particularly a
Dynamic
game
beard
that
growth. Remember that?
love
if I had known how much my nails would be the star of the game, like I would have rethought it. When
She holds up her hands to like fisticuffs. She's walking around like this.
I couldn't figure out. That's completely true. I couldn't figure out how to I couldn't figure out how to sheath a weapon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right.
What is it?
Yeah, it's double tap Alt.
It's double tap
or-
triangle.
Right. I even looked at the keyboard shortcuts, and it wasn't in. It
Yeah,
wasn't
so you
listed.
double tap that and that'll do it. But if you so when you're wandering around with a gun, fine. But when you're just barehanded, my girl walks around like the witch, and she looks like a character in like Left 4 Dead or something.
Yeah.
Who's about to like cast some manic spell. And then I was like, I can't put the hands away. And then I accidentally hit. I don't remember what I hit, but I went into photo mode, and so photo mode immediately pops you out and shows you first, and then you can manipulate whatever.
Yeah.
And so Jackie and I are standing in an elevator. He's leaned against a wall, and he's got like one gun sort of hanging down there, and my character is just there going in an elevator. And I was like, I can't put these weapons away.
How you feeling about tonight? Rat.
And then it was that mission. It was that mission where it's like the woman in the ice bath, and I walk down the hallway, and that woman opens up the door.
Yeah.
And you wave her away, and I go like a fucking human cat, and she goes and backs up into her apartment.
Thanks to Loki Cat for sponsoring this segment.
The Cyberpunk cat claws.
Oh my god, it was so funny. So anyway, that's our experience. Does anyone else have anything they want to add or?
No, I think when you said, like, I have that itch to get back into this world because I feel like it's a living, breathing, existing world, and I haven't felt that in a long time in a game where it's like, I just want to get in there and kind of just walk the streets. I want to drive around in my car and walk the streets. I'm interested in the missions, but I am just, I want to go to that oppressive city and be like, I want to go up those stairs and just look around and poke and prod, and yeah, it might not be as perfect as it was trying to sell originally, but I'm okay with that because, yeah.
The only other thing I would say is that I'm playing this on normal, and I feel like because I'm playing on console, I'm like struggling a little bit with the gunplay, and maybe I will enjoy it more if I just put it on easy.
Yeah.
Just because like the fights, I find it so hard to like aim, and I
pretty
haven't got
spongy as
and I
well.
haven't got the hang of the. They take so many bullets.
yeah.
Like you're literally shooting them, and it like headshot. I'm like,
You
how
have-
many heads do they have?
I have more success. Like I can, and I see it come up saying headshot, so I know that I'm getting them somehow while I'm like waving my gun around with a controller stick. But I have better success if I like shoot them a few times and then just punch them to death. Like that does more damage than it does bullets to the head,
Totally.
which
It's
seems
like-
bizarre.
The sword damage, I would say the combat is probably the non-stealth combat is the least impressive part of the game so far. Spongy enemies, guns feel like pea shooters.
I was going to say thin is how the first thing that came to mind. I was like, this feels like Uncharted shooting or something. That idea of like, there's no heft to what I'm doing.
But the
it's not
Uncharted
even
dudes were like,
no
at least they were in like a lot of the time they were in SWAT gear and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well they're armored, I guess.
Well,
And
these guys have metal heads.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe they all have armored heads, like from all the cybernetics that are in there. I was trying to like rationalize it in my mind because I was like, how many times can you shoot a person in the head and them not die?
It's where the RPG of it feels like a shooter, particularly with a mouse and keyboard, but it plays like an RPG, and that's the disconnect, I think. And I think it's okay once we get better stuff, but you're right, like my sword has 130 damage and my pistols are like 22 or something.
Totally.
And it's like, well, why don't I just cut them up in 3 hits? Well, because it's also the AI isn't great, so that people are walking around corners and stuff like trying to find you to shoot you. It's like, I can just get on top of you and slash you a few times.
I mean, I read most of the reviews. I read people like I was bladed out for most of the game. That's just how because you just get superpowered because it is that situation where you go and also. Even though I'm playing on PC, I thought I would be playing with a controller. It felt to me like I wanted to sort of lean back a bit, do your thing, and do that. But when I was playing, I was as soon as everything was fine, and then as soon as I got into combat, I was like, "Oh, this does not feel good with a controller." And that's when I went, "Oh no, I'm going mouse and keyboard." Because with the shooting, I was just like, swaying over their heads and you'd get a shot and it would do 1/6 damage and blah blah blah. So.
Yeah.
I have found the inventory pickup and identification system using a controller really difficult as well. I don't know how you feel about it.
You gotta be over it with the cursor.
It's really hit and miss. Sometimes you can just go through and just pick up everything, and then there'll be something that's up on a box or something that I just cannot find the hitbox for.
Or even if it's just to indicate the pop out to read what it is, and I'm kind of like, I'm looking at it, I'm not.
Yeah.
I found that really painful, and another reason that I've gone, okay, I really need to try this with the mouse and keyboard. Because that's the stuff you just fly through when you're...
Yeah, and it's like, these are the kind of things that like more playtesting would fix, where people like have those experiences, give feedback, and it's like, because this has obviously been rushed out the door, this game, like it feels like that in so many ways, and obviously they've been struggling with getting the code up to gold, with the amount of bugs that are in it on release still. It's that kind of stuff that I reckon Cyberpunk 2077 in June next year is going to be a really tight game.
Cyberpunk Online is where they will have fixed all this. Like, the multiplayer release, the thing that they're like, this is the moneymaker for the next 10 years, I feel like we'll have ironed out all these mechanical problems, I guess. Like, because this goes, this is less like, this isn't a bug. Or a lot of this stuff, like the shooting for me is not like a bug. It's like the philosophy of what you've built your combat around feels wrong to me. Yeah. So that's Cyberpunk 2077. We will be playing more. We'll talk more about it next week, I'm sure, as we've dived into it. I'm sure a ton of you guys are playing as well. Now, this is a bad time for this because I feel like we spent a lot of time just throwing caveats on. But at the same time, this is one of those games that feels like you need to play. We have a code for Cyberpunk to give away.
Hey!
Thanks to a very lovely viewer who you know and love, and that is Avexia. Avexia got like a special edition of the game, like a physical version. It came with a code as well for the game on GOG. So he contacted me. He was like, "Hey, do you want to give it away on the show for the season of Giving Back Pocket?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So if I can get an !game, the mods will let you know when it is time to start. We're in emote node now, so as soon as we go off emote node, then you will know !game is how you will get a copy of this game. Nightbot will just pick someone at random and you will get a copy.
So it's a PC code for GOG.
For GOG, yep. So it is PC, GOG, and if you, on PC, whatever, it'll be good. But like, if you have a 3080 somehow or a 3090, like this game, you owe it to yourself to just boot this game up and have a look at it. So thank you very much to Avexia, and you can start going
now. Plus 7 seconds for delay. Now. Do it now. Do it now. Not yet. Please hold. Are you saying please hold?
I can't do it now.
Oh, this chat is so delayed.
Now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Let's do it over the ad break.
Oh, that's good. Okay, we'll do it over the ad break.
Makes sense.
And we'll go to the ad break. Now.
Talent.
I am told by Pete I'm not even allowed to launch yet. This game's gonna fuck with me. I know that much. So let's find out how much it fucks.
How dare you?
Well, oh wow! Fucking! All right. No. Hey, no. You don't get to do this to me and then say I am the problem. We have so much to do today. The door will save me. Oh, super plug. Oh, fuck! I pressed something.
You need a Gus single that just has a default like slow zoom with some like really traumatizing music.
No, it would be.
As
What's
it
the meme?
slowly zooms in on his face.
Hello. The nose is the penis of the face is like, it's kind of a useless thing that hangs around. It's also quite true. But like, the boobs are like, they are to be looked at sometimes, not to be looked at. Thank you, Brody H. Really captured my singleness.
Oh, God.
Man.
I mean, you could arguably get away with saying that was someone else because it cuts back to you. And
I
you
know,
look so
right?
different. Just so everyone knows, there was an issue with Nightbot. Game is apparently a real code in the thing, so it's now !code will get you a copy of the game.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Thank you very much for the word from our sponsors there. I feel like we've referenced that clip so much, but seeing it in entirety, it is a cavalcade of just.
You can hear the
multiple
panic
feet
of
in
my
mouth.
tongue falling down the stairs. Yeah. I proceed to try and explain myself and dig up.
So
yeah.
good. It's
Very
so
funny.
good.
BlackDeath as well in there. BlackDeath, who used to DJ for me when I ran on the running streams.
Oh, right.
He would like curate my Spotify list that would
That's nice.
play tunes as
There
they
you
came
go.
in as well, and is a talented drummer, a talented musician as well.
Long-time champ.
Thank you very much, BlackDeath. The competition is closing now. So the competition is closed. Nightbot is about to pick a winner, and the winner of the competition to get a PC copy of Cyberpunk for GOG is Snackery186. Well done, Snackery.
Yay!
You've won yourself a copy of Cyberpunk 2077. Just send me a DM on the Discord or here on Twitch, and I'll make sure that I get you your code to you. We also wanted to give away some presents, some Christmas presents.
do it.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that as well?
Let's do it.
We'll run another exclamation mark competition, and the code will be exclamation mark present. We know this one works this time. So we'll set that one up. Once we go out of a mode only, then put that in there, and we'll pick a random winner. You also wrap some new stuff, you said.
Yeah, there's the stuff in gold is all new, but we still have other things that I wrapped previously. We've got a lot of presents.
So many presents.
There's so many presents.
Is this just because you wanted to wrap things?
Perhaps?
Alrighty.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Am I allowed to unwrap any this week?
Yeah.
You unwrapped one last week?
I don't know if I'm confident.
You
enough
went
to
rogue
unwrap.
last
Yeah,
week.
I went rogue.
It's just that you picked two randomly, but it turns
Yeah.
out we have a lot more stuff than we thought.
The comp
so
is
it
running,
actually
so
doesn't
Gus, grab a present.
Yeah, that's a
You
good idea.
pick the present.
Yeah.
Well, no, I reckon
Oh god, I almost got my confidence
let's
back.
get the winner and then pick a present.
We can pick the, it
No,
doesn't
we can
make a
pick it now
difference.
because we need to fill the
just-
time
Oh,
while they
yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grab it.
Pick that one.
Thank you. Pick that one. This thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Okay.
The competition is closing now. The
Again.
competition is closed.
A caveat, some of these presents are awesome, some of these presents are less awesome. That's what a lucky dip is. So
Okay, and some of these presents will be awesome to some people and trash to others.
yes, and some of them are like just toys for children, so you may just have to give them to a child that you know.
And also, you picked this one, so now I don't know what to think. The winner of the
Good point.
competition is It's Jep. Well done,
Hey!
Jep. Yeah.
Hang on. Is it's Jep or just Jep?
It's
Jep.
Jep. Is
So confused.
But sometimes it's Jep.
Jep.
Yep.
Right, because Jep did an animation for sent in a word that was pixel, and I really stupidly, when they sent in the video, they wrote their name as AWFS, and I was like, their name is AWFS. That's a word from sponsor. I was like, oh, whoops. So then they sent back, it's Jep, and I was like, gotcha. Jep. And they're like, no, it's Jep. And I'm like, this is a very...
Who's on first?
Yeah, pretty much.
Open it. Open it.
All right, it's Jep. The present, it's a new... Oh, cool. Cyberpunk backpack.
Well done.
Sick. And
Thematically appropriate, Stephanie.
Well, that's why I picked it.
a
choice.
flag.
And a flag?
It's a Night City flag.
Oh,
it is too. I hope you have a
cool.
flagpole. It's Jep. But that's something pretty cool to hang on your door or over your bed.
let's run one more competition as well, just so we can unwrap one more present.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That backpack is very cool.
Pretty bitchin'.
Does Sydney have a flag?
It's Does Sydney? Yeah, Sydney would have. Oh, yeah, Sydney would have a flag.
Sydney
There's a flag
flag.
for everything.
There is a
no
flag
one cares
for-
about flags.
Oh, the
Like a-
flag is terrible.
Yeah.
A
it would be.
state-specific flag?
This is almost like a dry bag. I don't know if it is entirely, but it's one where you can roll it
You
up
go
like
canyoning
that.
in that.
yeah.
You can then.
That's a
put
dildo
proper-
bag, I'm fairly certain.
You can get plenty of dildos in that. Very cool.
Look at this. Can I get, while this competition is running right now, which I
Put the flag in the bag.
Flag in the bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you very much, Mons.
Flag in the bag.
The flag in the bag.
Can I get my single?
Yeah, man.
This is the Sydney flag.
It's a disaster.
Oh my
hell is
god.
that?
Are you sure that's not 4 flags?
That is terrible.
That is terrible.
Gus, can you design Sydney a new flag?
Sure.
After you've done the PC decal thing, let's just get a new flag for the show
Pick a
next
prezi,
week.
mate. Pick a present.
I will pick a present. Steph, is there any present I should be picking, or are we fine now? I want to pick one of the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited.
I'm worried I'll pick a shit one. Though. Did I pick a
Oh,
shit
no, that one. That's good.
That's fine.
It's an
It'll do.
interesting shape.
It is interesting.
It'll do. I
It is an
recognize the
interesting
shape
shape.
of that one.
Yeah.
I've had to move that box around the studio many times.
Yeah.
You actually know what this is.
I do know what this is, yeah. The competition is closed now. Thank you very much, everybody. Chat is just going, it's a dildo.
Pockety
It's a
dildo.
Oh, grow up.
Pockety dildo.
Grow up, chat.
Pockety dildo.
I mean, there's
Don't talk about Gus's drawing like that.
Get Carnage has won the competition.
done.
You're gonna love this
Alrighty.
bit.
Get Carnage. Name appropriate, because you could really cause some carnage with this bad boy. You've won yourself a
Darksaber, Mandalorian Darksaber.
sword.
It's a dark saber, so it's like I don't know the origins
It's-
of it. We need a little will.
I think.
Yeah, we need
I
one.
think. Well, I don't want to talk about it because it would be a spoiler, and we don't do that on this show.
No, but it's talked about in the Clone Wars series for years.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So it's a thing that exists that's kind of like a lightsaber, but kind of more of a sword. Anyone in chat have a better
It can take a blow from a lightsaber without being destroyed, and it was like belonged to the Mandalorian king or some bullshit.
All right.
I think it lights up. It lights up and makes noises.
that's right.
I think
that was in the ancient description. It
think it-
belonged to
I
a
think
king
it-
and
I
it
think
lit
it
up and made
needs
noise.
batteries, maybe.
Batteries are
Batteries were not included.
Thank you very much. Well done, Kit Carnage. Should we do one more? I want to do one more.
Okay.
Because we got a lot under here, and I just feel like mainly I don't want these in the office when we go on holidays.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more.
I'm
Let's
doing
put it
one.
in slow
I'm
mode.
doing one.
Pete can pick a present. We'll give it away. It will be again exclamation mark present is going to be the code.
I know the shape of those boxes. I'm gonna do two. 'Cause I know the shape of these boxes. So
I know the kind of thing this will be, and I don't know what this is.
Okay, that's exciting.
And I'm going to add 3. No.
It's fun because I'm the only one that knows
Call
what
it.
they are.
That's a
There is an element of
It's a
And
fun
the
thing for me.
competition.
and the competition.
I know what everything is.
And the winner of the third.
It's fun.
season of
It's
Giving
fun
Back
giving
Pocket.
stuff away.
It is
You
fun
want that
giving
one,
stuff
then?
away.
All right.
Maiden Muse has won.
Yay!
Well done, Maiden Muse. Congratulations.
You got a pop vinyl. This one's very cute though. This is the Mandalorian with child. Not pregnant, but with the child.
That would be a huge spoiler.
In case it isn't obvious, I did some work
With
for
the
Disney and I got a lot of Mandalorian stuff. And also like multiples of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, Banjo has a lot of Mandalorian stuff that we haven't covered right now because it's like, we need to introduce him to what this is before we introduce him to the toy.
Also,
that
don't
he
teach
got.
him that before Christmas you get things too, because
Yeah,
that
totally.
would become a precedent as well.
And-
What's in
And
that
the
one?
second
And
thing,
Maiden Muse also gets.
I think it's,
Unwraps as neatly as she wraps.
you know what I reckon it is? I gotta guess is it
Semiconductor.
Jagged Little Pill?
it does feel like a CD. It is totally a CD. I don't think it is, but you would totally think
It is a copy of Overcooked All You Can Eat Edition.
Hey.
Which includes exclusive new content, and it's for the PS5.
PS5 box.
Nice.
So if you don't have a PS5 or don't intend to get a PS5, you can give it to someone who does as a gift.
Trade in value at
go.
EB is
Or
hot right now.
Trade in value at
Hot. Well
Nice.
done to Maiden Muse. All right, let's jump into our next seg, and this segment is brought to you by Intel and Avexia. It is a very good game.
Thank you. I
quite.
waited a
Very
lot
good.
Maiden
longer.
Muse has a PS5 and no games to play on it.
Yay! Congratulations.
Oh, that's lucky.
Very good gameplay, of course, powered by Intel, presented by Avexia. We'll start with Avexia first. Of course, I've been writing poems for Avexia, but I ran out of poetry, and so now I'm just finding words that rhyme with Avexia, and I'm telling you what they mean. Like word of the day toilet paper, but specifically for one man.
Should we remember the old one first, just to because we're adding?
Sure. Yeah.
So it was Plexia?
Yeah. Plurexia.
I don't think we should bother.
No. This is how you learn and how you expand
you're gonna
your
be using
vocabulary.
it a lot.
It meant to be like to want a lot of things.
Oh, that's right.
It's like
To,
materialistic.
avarice.
yeah, to be
Greed.
avarice for
Yeah.
greed. Yeah.
So the word today
Avarice
is
is a better word than the forgettable.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Plexoria.
Arflexia. It is a noun. So Areflexia. Arflexia. It is the absence of a reflex. So a sign of possible nerve damage, any sensation or change in bodily function that is experienced by a patient and is associated with a particular disease is where it is most commonly seen, but it is the absence of a reflex.
Wouldn't it
This
be,
one,
wouldn't
this one.
it be areflexia? Like if you're talking about reflexes.
You're right.
And,
I said arflexia. It is areflexia.
Very
See,
good.
we're learning something.
So this is the knee, and if your knee doesn't do the thing,
yeah.
You have areflexia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or you are flexia.
it does. That's what I was thinking as well. It's like,
Yeah.
are you flexia?
Yeah.
I are flexia.
I are.
There you go. We all learned something, so thank you very much to Avexia. And also, of course, thank you very much to Intel for sponsoring this segment. Very good gameplay. Today's game that we're going to be checking out, something I'm very excited about. Call of the Sea, Steph.
Yeah.
Tell me about Call of the Sea.
Well, it's a beautiful narrative puzzle game set in the 1930s. A woman who studied Polynesian culture with her husband is afflicted by some kind of terrible sickness that manifests itself in strange kind of spots all over her skin, and she feels tired and sick and unwell. And her husband is convinced it's related to the sort of artifacts that they've been studying. So he goes on a journey with a team to this mysterious Polynesian island to try and find a cure. And he never comes back. So the big game starts when she sort of goes in search of him. She can't. It's kind of cool and tropey in a way that it's like no one wants to go to the island because they all believe it's cursed. And then when she gets there, she finds like remnants of the camp and stuff like that. And sort of as you go sort of solving puzzles to figure out what happened and make your way around the island, you start to sort of learn that there's more than meets the eye and that there are older civilizations there. So it's really, really cool. It's beautiful design. It's beautiful art. And did you invert it?
I had to. Yeah. I kept looking at the sand. I was trying to pan up and be like, sorry to interrupt, like after Cyberpunk, I'm like, this is lovely.
Yeah.
Like, look at this outdoors. But sorry, yes, go on.
There's a mouse cursor in the middle of the screen as well.
The voice acting and the
click on the game.
performance is really,
No, but
really.
I can't hear it either, so I don't think it's active.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually. There you go.
Right.
The voice acting and the story, the performance is really, really lovely, and I think all the puzzles also I really enjoy because they're some kind of unique qualities to them. Which
How much time have you put in?
I put in maybe like 3 hours, I would say.
Oh, so you're close to the end because I heard it's like a 4 to 5 hour game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Slow down. I just learned how to sprint.
What chapter did you get up to? I played for like half an hour and finished chapter 1. Did the prologue. Oh, it wasn't half an hour really. I guess 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 hours for the main quest. So
should
Yeah.
say-
Well, maybe it wasn't that long.
no, but I'm just saying you've put in a decent chunk in terms of like the amount of game.
I got like fair way into the
Yeah,
island,
cool.
and then, but it's like,
There's a hatch.
yeah,
You just went like that, and that implied a hatch, and people were like, "This looks like Lost," and there's going to be a hatch.
there totally is a hatch.
Hatch
There you
confirmed.
go.
Amazing.
Hatch
Hatch
confirmed.
confirmed.
But something that happened that was unusual for me is that I started to get really motion sick,
Oh.
which actually is so rare for me. Like, I don't get motion sick in anything. My dad has a boat, and I'm on it all the time.
You
And-
play video games on that boat and you still don't get motion sick?
Like, I have an iron stomach when it comes to motion sickness. Like, the only time I've ever experienced motion sickness in a game is when I played, like, a particular VR game that was just like,
You play Sea of Thieves.
yeah.
Hours of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. So I actually thought that maybe I was, like, properly ill. And I was like, because it can't be motion sickness. And then I spoke to you,
Polynesian island fever
and I
then.
was
You
like,
came out of your room and you were like, "Our rooms are our studies are connected." And Steph walked into the like hallway and I could see her, and she stood there and she was like, I don't feel so good.
Oh my God.
You've been playing Call of the Sea, haven't you?
Yeah, but and I was like, has it made me motion sick? And Peter was like, it made
Same
me
thing
feel
happened
that
to
way
me.
too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I turned off the motion blur.
I
Something
tried
about
to-
the floatiness of the game that is like very...
I tried to expand the like field of view to maybe make it not so like.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It does not stand out from what we're seeing now as a game.
No,
So
I feel like I've played a million games like this and never experienced that sensation. But like, I don't know.
Maybe
It
there's
was-
something in the atmosphere in the mountains today.
I want to point out absolutely gorgeous looking game.
Yes.
I think it looks phenomenal. Love the art style. I played about 15 minutes of it last night.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just going to check this out because it's on Game Pass as well, so
Yep.
just get it. This game is running right now on the Intel NUC Extreme. This little bad boy here sitting next to the massive pile of M&Ms, and just a fantastic looking game. But you move so slow. Could it be
Yes.
the movement speed of
you
this
can
character
sprint.
walking?
you can
Because
sprint,
she walks like slower than a slow walk, and there is that floatiness to it that I feel like she walks like a ship would walk.
She walks a bit faster once you're on the island. She,
Okay, right.
She,
I
she
can
gets a bit
sprint.
better.
Okay, right,
She
okay,
can sprint.
okay.
But
There's some serious wobble going on though. Like there's some.
It wasn't even the wobble. It's whatever kind of like
this turn.
ramping they've put on the
Yeah.
speed of the turn.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like a little bit
because
off.
also I was playing with mouse and keyboard, so I was able to move the mouse a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And then I found with the close quartersness of it, and something about the way the camera was moving made me feel like. "Bleh."
Yeah,
I've just turned up the sensitivity, but it has. You're right. It has a slowdown, like an ease.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
slows down,
that's
so
what
it's
it
not
is.
snappy, which
Oh,
it
it's
makes
doing it for me
immersive.
now even.
Oh,
Is it?
sorry. Look away.
So with this game, the vibes I got straight away just from
feel
the
hot.
setup, because it had that.
Hit
It
the
had
fan.
that. Stop looking at the screen. It had that lovely setup on a ship. I love anything on a ship. I love
Yeah.
like deserted island ship-based stuff, and with all the little things so it had a Outer Wilds vibe to me straight away, where it was like, oh, there's like this little core mystery here that I'm going into this world that's not going to be as I think it is, like, but surrealist, like, because the first cutscene is you're underwater.
well, we should say
Yeah.
we picked this up a little further in than like maybe
Totally,
of like
yeah.
10 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Just so people who want to experience for the first time can watch that opening.
And
But
it's
does
like,
does that surrealist stuff continue throughout?
Yes, and I would say that the core mystery is what draws you through. It's so unusual and it's so strange.
your journal.
And the kind of the information as you start to learn it is like it just compels you to keep playing. Like there are some puzzle games that I feel like I sort of play and then I just sort of lose interest in the story and I don't feel like I care enough about it to kind of want to continue, but I'm invested in this one because the voice acting is so good.
Yep.
I love the storytelling and the setup, and then the puzzles are really fun because they're just really unique and strange.
I assume I need to get a capstone for that
Yeah.
yeah.
thing over there. Am
When
I-
you say unique and strange
Look at your
puzzles,
journal
what do
again
you
now.
mean?
Like there's one for I don't want to give anything away, but there's one for example where you have to use a strange mechanical device to match kind of ink blots that you see in another part of the thing, and you use a weird
nice to-
device to kind of mark them. It was just I'd never seen anything like that before. It was weird.
Like it's more abstract than necessarily like,
Yeah, like-
oh, you just got to put this keystone in a thing.
Yes, there's that as well, and some of them are just like match the symbols and stuff like that. But there's also just like a few weird things that is really cool. But I also just like the
interact.
whole. You know
Maybe not got
when
the
any of these kind of movies or games or anything that's sort of to do with a lost civilization or something like that, you get so
pick something up,
your mind starts racing about like what happened here or
Totally,
whatever.
yeah.
And then as the game starts to show you
Maybe because I've already finished it.
murals and journal entries and letters and stuff like that, it just fills your mind with more questions, and it just does that really well in such a classy way.
I love it because this is like.
Hang on, so and just to dive into the game itself, it's like you obviously got a journal that fills out as you see details.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Any
kind of-
any detail that is relevant to a puzzle will go in your
Automatically
little
goes in.
notebook, and then
Nice.
there's story stuff that fills out in a written journal as well that you can refer to.
I think unfortunately because I played this section, this puzzle is broken because I finished it already.
Oh,
But
okay.
if we jump,
But you can keep going forward.
no, the door
he
won't.
can't. He
open.
can't
Oh, right.
go.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
feel a bit sick.
there you go.
It's weird. Isn't
Yeah.
it? I feel it now also.
That's an interesting one.
What was I going to say? So I spoke about this I think last week about the idea of like there's every Christmas I find a game to just like fall in love with and get lost in. This game is probably a little too short for me to do that over the course of like the whole Christmas break. But I am now more excited about this than I am about Cyberpunk, just in terms of like the potential that this holds. In terms of storytelling
it's just
stuff.
beautiful. It's so lovely. Is there anything in the settings that you can change to make it better?
Chat were asking for it.
Because it was too sick.
Yeah.
Really?
I think people were
Chat was saying,
sick.
please make it smaller.
Yeah.
It's making us sick.
Yeah, so
right.
they wanted as well.
Oh my
How interesting, because again, I had this exact same reaction that you did. I played the prologue and the first chapter, which we saw bugged because I'd already finished it. It is a stunning game.
Yeah.
I played it at like 10 o'clock this morning in the lead up to Cyberpunk launching. And before I played Cyberpunk on PC, it was the prettiest thing I'd seen on my computer by far.
It's done a wonderful
No
job.
HUD.
It's like got a really lovely palette, and the way they've just kind of like soft lighting and everything kind of pops, but without being it has that stylized vibe. I'm saying all this with wine. It has a stylized vibe and palette to it, but it's like, I wouldn't call it realistic, but it's just like a lovely it's that sort of painterliness.
I broadened the field of view, and I feel like that helped me. And I pushed through like a lot of illness just because I was enjoying the game so much. But
Right.
This is only playing it. Yeah,
How
I'll just leave it at
strange.
that.
Your global quality is epic, but not.
Vertical
What was the Cyberpunk one?
Psycho.
Not Psycho.
So I just increased the field of view and turned
Yeah.
motion blur off. I turned motion blur off on mine, didn't bother increasing field of view because I got a widescreen monitor. But
You could just look at Pete, Steph, and Gus, and out of the corner of your eye, experience.
that helps me a
Yeah.
little bit. It doesn't fix it, but I feel like it makes it better.
Hopefully they fix that, because clearly it's a problem that a lot of people are experiencing.
Yeah.
Just watching it
I'm
being played,
surprised
not
that
even
the
playing it.
developers weren't affected by it when they were playtesting it or whatever.
true.
Like
This has serious Mist vibes. Like, I just want to go through the log because I know it. The quests are basically like you find clues within the world, you interact with them. They're not like shining, like come and interact with me things. They're like, oh, that shadow's interesting, kind of like The Witness.
Yep.
You look at it and it's like, oh, she makes a note of it.
Does she tell you when she makes a note of it? Or
She
just
tells you when she
think,
makes a
okay,
note of it. For example, these symbols here, these sigils help me solve a puzzle in the last chapter.
Got it.
And it was about, like, once you find one of those, you're like, okay, I should be looking for similar things to that. And obviously, chapter 1, the easiest chapter, the promise of it is that it's going to be more intriguing in the way that you interact with the world in order to solve the puzzle of the area.
Right.
And yeah, beautiful performance by the actress, and the game is stunning. And it is surreal at points. Like when you find the bird one, like the birds, like the lorikeets are kind of like hovering around in front of you, like a Disney kind of film and stuff.
it makes such a huge difference. Like the voice acting just makes me care about her instantly
I'm gonna go like.
and want
Find a frame.
her to.
I'm gonna slow walk for everyone.
Oh, okay, right. It makes me instantly care about her and want her to be well, and like I'm so invested in a story when I care about the person.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want for Cyberpunk.
Totally. I mean, even like I said, played 10 minutes of this just to sort of figure out what it was, and instantly felt attached to her, and a very clear like mission. This is what I'm here to do. Quite charming in terms of like, here's the locked case that I have, and oh goodness, I forgot the code for the thing. Where is it? Oh, fisticuffs.
And it totally has that. Like the same thing that made Indiana Jones successful. Like the playing against the serial Hollywood, the writing is perfect. The tone is perfect of that prologue of being like, here's a photo of a strapping young lad in a hat, and I'm going to go on a quest to find him.
Yeah.
My husband. And you turn around and there's like the 30s is such a beautiful era as well. Like obviously she's a very well-to-do woman. She's got this like massive chest that she travels with. It's got dresses in it, and like it opens up into a cabinet, and it's like, this is all just so beautifully designed.
Yeah.
And, like you're so in the world, like from the moment you start playing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just makes you buff.
I love that also, like, we've gone and just found someone who's, like, written up a card being like, here's how we're going to blow up this little temple. And then you turn it around, there's an old-fashioned 30s cartoon, blah, 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 I'm so clever. Gosh, they were fun back then.
So that is Call of the Sea. Yeah, I'm excited. I have not felt anything weird, so I'm fine with what I've seen here so far. Hopefully that continues. And it means that I can actually dive into this because, yeah, I kind of like totally slept on this. Hadn't really heard anything about it, and then it came out, and I went, and you said, I'm going to check this out, and I had a look, and I was like, oh, this is my jam. So I'm very
feeling unwell? Try a swig of Brilliantine. That'll fix what ails you.
Don't drink that at all.
I think it's aftershave.
No, it's for your hair.
No, it's for your hair. It's
Brill cream was for your hair. That's how they like slicked their hair and then combed it and set it.
So there you go. That was, I mean, I'm not going to say it was very good gameplay.
No.
It was certainly gameplay.
We should have had, I guess, more of a conversation with the audience about how sick it's making them.
Well, I don't know. Like you don't know how much it's going to affect like everyone.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the fact that it has affected. Did it affect you? Yeah.
Look, I'm not wearing my glasses.
75%
I just felt
of
a little
people-
bit off for a
and
second.
a significant portion of the audience.
Yeah.
But I will make it very clear, none of that had anything to do with the NUC.
No. I played on the
The
non-NUC.
NUC was doing, God bless you, the Lord's work.
I also feel like,
Even the NUC was probably like, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit sick as well, but I got to keep pushing through.
full of M&Ms.
Thanks to Vexia for making people sick, says Decay.
Yeah, that was a Vexia's
I
fault.
feel like if we've now warned people adequately that like if they were interested in this game, this shouldn't turn them off. It's like if you play it and set it up and know that you like might get motion sickness and turn those settings off and play it in a sensible manner and not sprint around like I was at the start, you'll probably be okay.
If you play it on a television this big, just down in your peripheral vision, you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, it is a shame because hopefully there's a patch to fix this because it's like I'm so compelled to play it, but it made me ill.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Wow.
It's so strange. All right. Well, thank you very much to Intel, NUC, and also Vexia, who did just turn up and was like, "What? Hi, why are you all saying my name right now?" It's because you made everybody sick. We're going to be back with showing off Angus's efforts this week of building a $4,000 computer, which
This is the video, not ad breaks.
no, I will be
Okay.
back with this,
Yeah, cool.
which went both worse and better than I was expecting. So I'm excited
okay.
to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this final thing turns out. We'll be back after this short break and a word from our sponsors.
Punk. When you know it's time to mix business with bizness. Punk. When you play 7 instruments, each one like the love child of Yo-Yo Ma and Santana. Punk. When you're 1K from having a really problematic logo. Punk. A fragrance for men. Because you deserve to smell like a tin whistle. Is your thumb chafed? Calloused? Does it hurt when you headshot the wizard from the moon? You've probably got Destiny Thumb, a condition that affects 1 out of every 1 Destiny players. Lucky there's Avexia. Just apply Avexia thrice daily to the affected area. Side effects of Avexia may include heart murmurs, heart whispers, heart shrieking, jam tongue, deep vein thrombosis, shallow vein thrombosis, elephantitis, giraffe neck, Truman Show syndrome, me, myself and Irene-itis, the quakes, the shake and bake, the bacon snake, the snake and rake, foodborne illnesses including breech banana and chicken Caesarean salad, bulging vein, bungee mane, imposter syndrome, composter syndrome, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, beaver fever, rat bite fever and Saturday night fever, facial blindness, severe facial remembrance, alien hand syndrome, mermaid foot, and, in some rare cases, Destiny thumb. Do not take Avexia if you are also taking medication for Fortnite fungus or Dota Dick.
You're going to want to rub that on there nice and deep. That'll fix it right up. Avexia. Thank you very much to Murph and Samantha as well for your word from our sponsors. Very good. Murph, I mean, we're going back old school, back pocket
That's
style.
the thing of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting some vibes from that one.
Remember the one he sent in that was like 5 minutes long?
With nipples.
Yeah.
Can't get away with that.
Yeah, I think
Can't get away with that on Twitch.
but you could on the ABC.
That's still
Actually, love
open
it.
for a couple more weeks for the rest of December.
Well, one more
we've
week.
got one more episode.
Yeah, one more.
So if you haven't made a word from a sponsor or you had one waiting in the wings that you were willing to send in, get it in. We might do a big extravaganza of them next week in the episode.
Yeah.
The Saltiest Pretzel says, would you recommend applying Avexia while ponking?
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
As the spokesperson for both those brands,
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
happy to say put them together.
So thank you very much. If you want to send yours in, please do. There are links in the Discord for how to get those word from our sponsors in. And Pockety can tweet that link out.
Totally.
At some
Yeah,
point in
we'll
the
do
next
that one.
24 hours as well. All right. It is, of course, the season of Giving Back Pocket, and the thing that really kicked off the season of Giving Back Pocket was the $4,000 Intel Back Pocket PC that we are building and giving away. Thank you to Intel and their 10th generation Intel Core processors. We are super excited about this PC. I mean, if you want a PC that's going to run Cyberpunk in the way that it needs to be run, this is the thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Baby.
Even after Gus put it together, it will still run Cyberpunk reasonably well.
Reasonably well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there are any bugs in it, blame them on me. Yeah, they will have been patched by then, I'm sure.
And I don't have it around me right now, but a couple of weeks ago, we were going through all the components. We went to Umart, Centacom, and PC Case Gear to buy all the components for these PCs. They obviously are still well stocked with all of those components, including the 10th gen Intel Core processors and the NUC Extremes. The one thing that we couldn't get our hands on, obviously, was the 3080 because they're just sold out everywhere. I bought myself a 3080 a couple of weeks ago. I'm somewhat of a 3080 maestro. I don't know. I just seem to have that touch. Like I can get my hands on them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, if we watch the news from Wednesday, we know why.
I knock over trucks in China. But I managed to get my sticky fingers on another 3080, bought it yesterday, it arrived at my house this morning, and it is in the office now, and we are going to be putting it in the PC later on tonight. It's
already in there.
After the show. It's already, oh, you put it in?
It's already
He
in
stuck it in while he was running around getting the rest of the show sorted.
Which is why your other card wasn't in there.
Oh, right. So my title card wasn't in, but their graphics card was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now
I-
I see where your priorities really
That
lie.
makes sense.
Priorities on cards.
So that 3080 is now in the PC. It is complete. So whoever wins this computer by rewriting A Christmas Carol with lyrics that change it to be back pocket or video game themed, and there is a link in the Twitch chat right now to go there and enter. Whoever wins this gets that 3080 in that PC for them as well. So part of the whole thing about building our own PC, you can save some money by buying components. You can really customize it in the way that you want. But also you get the experience of really putting something together yourself.
You
now,
learn.
I have built a PC before. You have built a PC before. Have you built PCs before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've done it as well. You have some experience in this, but you're also quite handy when it comes to things around the house. You're always fixing and changing and building and drilling and cutting and jigsawing.
I am, but all those things things generally are like larger pieces with larger tools.
And when we put the motherboard in, you pulled the jigsaw out.
Yeah, I was like,
we
I'm
had to
ready, let's do
reassess.
it. Wait, how does this bad boy go in? These little undexterous sausage fingers do not do well on the smaller parts. So I
believe it's called a reflexia.
Ah, there it is. But my fingernails that are always getting in the way. I do struggle with some of the minutiae of putting the PC together, which is why Pete has always been...
Magnetic screwdriver.
Well, that helps. That was a good step that's in there. Also, a Pete. A magnetic Pete around at the same time has always just been around when I've needed to make a PC, and he is my go-to expert. So
I think we should just show you.
yeah, I'm just saying. So, like, every time I've been learning about it, I've always had him there as
Stop talking.
just giving him the intro that he needs. That he is my like Jedi, PC builder, and I'm constantly his whingy little Padawan.
Padawan.
Yeah,
It's cute. All right, well, let's see how Gus went
there's
with
so much
building
sand in the PC as well. It gets everywhere.
a $4,000 PC.
So, I don't know why I'm here. Why am I the person who's been given all this stuff? This is us building the Intel 4K computer. I say 4K, it's worth $4,000. It can probably do things in 4K. Peter, can it do things in 4K?
It will absolutely be able to.
Totally. Let's start by going through all the parts. I feel like I'm on a home shopping network. But I'm going to start with this. We lost the feed. All right, slight hiccup there. I thought I was gonna make the biggest technical faux pas, but apparently there's a bigger idiot in the office. But we're back, starting with this, the tower. The most important piece of the computer. I'm gonna say that with every part. First thing, open the case. I'm being judged as well. You're eating M&Ms while I do this. The glass. Let's start with the motherboard. Let's start with the power supply. Yes, I had that. Okay, power supply. This is the power supply. It is needed to supply power. Why don't I unbox and you put things in? Okay, cool. Because this I know how to do. No. Boxes have gotten harder to open in the past. I'm gonna say like 5 years.
There's now an artistry in. Okay, that one's ruined. There's now an artistry in. These typically open from an end, like that.
This I know how to do.
Fan down. That's where the vent is. That's where it's going.
Nick,
Angus.
at one point,
Yes.
very soon,
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose interest.
Oh, yeah.
In which case,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap you in,
Yeah.
gonna have a breather,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll just switch in and out.
Gus,
Yep.
I have already lost interest.
All right, power supply. There's that bad boy there. We'll plug it in, and that means that while we're going, we can just touch the PSU and make sure that we're not building up static charge so we zap anything else along the way. The next thing we're going to put in is the motherboard. So do you want to start tweaking that open? You can see if you can work that box out.
Motherboards are terrifying to hold because they feel like every part of them is made with a precious bendable pin or...
Oh, they are. Don't fuck it up.
Ooh. That new motherboard smell. All right. Well, it's... You hold it.
Which way do you think it goes in there?
It goes in like... So
what's
that's
what?
RAM.
Yep.
GPU goes in there.
Yep. Or
there.
yep.
CPU goes there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's all the stuff on the back. Cheat sheet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the cheat sheet. Oh, sorry. Do you want to put it in there?
No.
Get yourself a magnetic tip screwdriver. I know most are these days, but you're gonna need one if you're building a computer.
All right. What's after the motherboard?
Well, I reckon we'll put the CPU in.
So the very important CPU, computer processing unit. I know acronyms. This is a 10th gen Core i9 unlocked processor. And some would say this is the most important and yet trickiest part of the
You
build.
be bloody careful.
Nick, I'm gonna need your hands.
What do you need?
Support. Thermal paste.
No, you don't need paste.
Gus, you're gonna put this in.
Okay, I can do this.
We're gonna bring it down here. We're gonna open up that.
I just want to remind you that not only is this arguably the most important part of the computer because it's
It's the most
brain,
important part of the show.
it's definitely the most important.
What are you doing?
When I see power, I get sneezy.
It's also the most important part of our show in terms of the future viability of you getting paid.
Okay. Okay.
Just gently put it in, like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Don't feel too much room.
That's
Easy.
good.
Piece
That's
of cake.
good.
And then a big bag of sand. I drop it in place there. Done.
Close it up. Beautiful.
Now, collapse into a puddle.
So no thermal paste.
The thermal paste is on the head of either the CPU fan that you get with
That's right.
Yeah, or it's going to be on our cooler. So let's get the cooler over.
I like that we're all here now. I feel better. I feel better.
What does it smell like? What does it smell like? Radiator. There you go. There's your thermal paste. Got it. And that will distribute evenly as it heats for the first time. This goes where? I actually have no idea.
Louder for the microphone, Peter.
What you got here is a bunch of idiots trying to put a computer together.
Hang on. Peter,
Yes, sir.
I think our fans are on the wrong side.
No.
What Peter's doing now is attaching the bracket to the rear of the coolant, cooling the...
So the case comes with this bracket and had two fans attached to it.
Peter, I'm explaining
We're
cooling.
putting the radiator at the front, and it needs this bracket attached to it as well. I'm just going to test that it will fit.
And as you can see, thanks to the help of the bracket that I suggested, it works.
Fucking hell, we should have paid someone to do this.
So here?
Lovely. Look at this
Teamwork.
teamwork. Dream is working. Okay.
Now, the coolant attached to the CPU, am I right? Cooler.
Yeah, let's do that. Everything's looking up. Next will be the M.2 drive.
This seems like an easy step.
So this is how tidy an M.2 goes in. That's it. That's all the room it takes up. This apparently is a heatsink for your M.2 drives. I'm going to peel this off and it's going to be very satisfying. Gus, come and peel this off.
Done. So I think that's there just to close that gap.
What do you mean the gap?
The gap between the drive when it's put on and the heat pad that you put on top.
But I've never seen a heat pad is what I'm saying. So there's never been a gap.
Okay.
He's never seen what you're talking about, and you are talking about something that you've never seen. I need you to both shut up and finish the computer so we could go on holidays.
Ram's the
not
next
in.
step.
Let's do the RAM.
All right, let's do the RAM. Where's the RAM?
Here it is.
All right, thanks, Peter.
We do like each other despite appearances.
Pushing down.
Yep.
Engaged.
It's the wrong way.
What? What's after the RAM? Samsung solid state drive?
Yep. I don't really care about this stuff as long as it works. And I can't say it's fun building computers. But it's fun building
but you can, and you have already.
Just in case Will cut the last one out.
Helps to have a small child with little dainty fingers. Doesn't have to be your child.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So here is a little tray. Boom.
You put your solid state in.
The 3080 hasn't arrived yet. This is a 980.
Where'd you pull that from?
That old computer.
Oh, that's my computer.
We'll replace it.
I'm the equivalent of the dentist assistant that holds the little hose in, sucks out the fluid.
Yeah, but they're learning. They're going to be dentists one day. What are you going to be?
A professional lamp.
That sounds like a clean boot. But it's make sure that we're not building up static charge so we zap anything else along the way.
I got static.
I don't care about you.
We are now testing the clean boot with a small monitor.
We need to install Windows, but that seems like a problem for another time.
The build is done. The lights are for the last finishing touch with the decals.
Totally. We know how to do it, we just haven't done it yet.
We'll clean up all these cables and then we'll wheel it into shot in the studio.
Which you're about to see.
Yeah.
And we'll be much less sweaty.
Sync clap.
That's how you build a computer, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just that easy. Remember the crucial steps. Charge yourself with electricity. Argue with the person you're building it with.
Oh, yeah.
Zap everything.
Zap everything.
Yeah, and there it is down the front there. We've booted it up.
That's it running.
The
Nice.
ARGB we got working somehow on the fans on the front.
The alpha red, green, blue. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha.
Yeah,
Alpha.
right. And so it's now got the 3080 graphics card in it. It is ready to go, and then the final piece of the puzzle will be the decal that you are in the middle of finalizing.
Yep.
That we will have on,
that on
for
next
next week.
Microtech says it's addressable.
That's right. It was addressable.
It's addressable RGB.
We said alpha.
As a guess, maybe?
Yeah,
okay.
Wrong.
Oh no, I looked it up, but maybe I just got it. Maybe
Yeah, it's
alpha
Look, you can.
ARGB.
No. The M in front of the N in no is.
My joke answer stayed in my head longer than your real one.
Stupid
No.
top search result on Google. I actually think you did a fantastic job putting that together. The real hero though is little Will, who took 2 hours worth of footage. And
That was more than 2 hours of footage.
Yeah, probably.
That was like.
Someone said 3 days. You're not far
Yeah,
off.
that was a 3 hour.
because the parts that were cut out were my favorite part, which was like at one point I was sitting over there and I was just hammering out emails and stuff, and then Gus would just like, I would hear an argument. And then Gus would come over here and crawl under the desk there and look at his computer that's like currently built. It's like, why does this one look like this? Why else does it look like this?
I had they all have glass on the side now, and we were doing something.
Yeah,
One of the parts in that video was me being like, Pete, this is wrong. And you go, no. And then I go and find that we were wrong, and we since change it.
Yeah.
And love you, little Will, but you didn't put in the correction. And we went, oh, I was wrong. Because, but again,
It was
one small
We weren't wrong when I said we weren't wrong, but we were wrong.
God.
We became wrong when the only way to get it into that bracket was to flip the bill.
Yes. Look, my one minor half victory compared to you putting the
I like that it was a competition to you. Like you're looking for. That's part of that's part of why we clash all the time. Is like, I've got to win this conversation.
But to be fair, you're both like that, so that's where the clash comes in.
But I clash better.
Yeah, there you go. But the PC, it's turned out fantastic. I'm so happy that we did it in this way as well. Of like this, even though we're giving it away, I feel like I don't want to, because I feel like it's become something that's representative of the show. And
It literally has our blood, sweat, and tears.
What he's saying is we're no longer giving it away, and Nick is keeping it.
yeah, this is gonna be. I'm somehow going to run Cyberpunk on 2 computers.
And I'm going to continue to play it on a PS4.
Totally. So if you want to enter
Rest your feet on a PS5 while you're running 2 PCs.
if you want to enter the competition to win this beast of a PC, thanks to Intel, all you need to do is head to the link that will be popping up in the chat in a second, thanks to Nightbot, and rewrite a classic Christmas carol to make it back pocket or video game themed. Submit your entry. We're going to pick our favorites. We're going to pick a winner live on air next week. And then we will get this thing shipped to you. And I think the best way, the safest way, is probably just to courier it to this person. To be able to get it there before Christmas and also in one piece, because Gus put a lot of his blood, sweat, and electric energy into this computer, and we want it to arrive well. One condition is that the competition for this is only open to Australian residents. So if you're an international resident, you can submit a thing, but you won't actually be able to win. So I don't know why you would spend a bunch of time writing a poem that you...
Unless you're looking for a creative outlet.
Joy.
Oh, okay.
Could be that.
I've never done anything for creative joy. It's only for money, Angus.
Or if you wanted to win it for a person who lives here.
Oh, that's a nice
do that.
idea. Yeah.
Totally.
Or in 2 years' time, you can come visit it when they open the borders. Come play.
Come visit the computer.
I'm intrigued to check
It will
out...
be in Nick's house, apparently.
I'm interested in checking out some of the entries. We've looked at a few of them, but like the array of Christmas carols, like we're talking like really old school, your classics, and then some of your more cheesy Dean Martin kind of like more sing-along Christmas tunes and that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, they run the gamut, but I think there's still plenty of songs. There's too many Christmas songs in general. So there's plenty there that haven't had the back pocket video game treatment. So
I think, well, technically all of them haven't had the back pocket video game treatment.
I meant in entry form.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, is there a Christmas album featuring pocketing that I
So
don't
here's
know
how
about?
this is actually going to work. We're going to take all of these, we're going to record them into a pocket Christmas album. Oh, this is all coming together too well.
I would love that. I would love that so much. It's Jep said, is Tasmania classified as Australia?
No, but we'll make an exception.
Yeah, okay. I think legally we have to, but morally it's abhorrent that we have to do this.
I stand for Tasmania. I'm a Taswegian now. I love that place.
Well, it's like New Zealand, right? Like I ripped on New Zealand
it is.
forever, and then
They
I went to
even
New
have
Zealand.
You
and
rip
I was
on
like,
New Zealand?
No, I used to, and then I went to New Zealand, and I was like, this place is phenomenal. And
Yeah,
I hear the
yeah.
same
Sure.
thing about Tasmania.
Tasmania even has bumblebees. Which
It
I
does?
grew up with in New Zealand. Those big fuzzy bumblebees that you see in storybooks.
Yep. Oh, right.
And Tasmania has them.
Did they make honey bumblebees, or do they just bumble around?
I think they just bumble.
Oh, that's cute. Do they sting?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
They are a lot more harmless than your traditional European bees, wasps.
Good chat.
Yeah, okay, that got weird. If you want a bumblebee, head to Tasmania. If you want a computer, enter the Back Pocket and Intel PC giveaway to be able to win it. Entries close next week. I believe it's on Tuesday, but the information is in that is in the Google link there. And we are excited to give this bad boy away to one lucky viewer. What a Christmas present to get! What a Christmas present! Speaking of Christmas presents, we want to do presents, or do we want to do M&Ms?
Let's do M&Ms.
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 What we need to do is
No.
just, I feel like we need to just open up the M&M
Yep.
competition for maybe one more minute.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because it absolutely dominated the chat. Gat is about to turn the bot back on. The way you enter this competition, to be clear, you're guessing how many M&Ms are in the NUC carry case right there. The way you enter this competition is by typing exclamation mark
Beautiful.
and then the word guess, space, and then the number that you guess of the amount of M&Ms that are in there. The person who gets closest to the actual number is going to win themselves 2 games of their choice on any platform, any video game, an Intel prize pack, including a headset, massive mouse pad, and an Intel hoodie. They'll get themselves a Back Pocket mug and a present from the Back Pocket Christmas table.
Thank you, Gat. Thank you, Gat, also for organising the whole
Yeah, great
bot
work.
thing.
Literally, I had a whole system planned, and then this morning he was like, do you want me to just write a piece of
code that.
software to handle this? I'm like, what?
The real question: what happened to the M&Ms, guys?
I feel like they're unclean, surely.
I do too.
Unclean. Nickel ate
The
them.
obvious answer was like, oh, we just pour them back in and eat them. But I'm like,
They're
been-
hard-shelled candy. Like, what's the rules on
Totally.
dropping
I think-
hard-shelled candy? It's not like we're dropping Turkish Delight or something.
Totally. These would be totally fine to eat.
Except for the fact-
Except for the fact that they're not peanut M&Ms.
Thank you.
okay. Yeah.
And that I technically have touched every single one in there.
So we're all gonna have to like have a little tissue and just like wipe every M&M we consume in the office from now on.
We have to eat them. There's like multiple M&M buckets just sitting there empty that I saved that
Yeah.
we'll just pour
Aren't you
them back
giving
in.
them to
Just
the
give them back.
viewers?
I wish.
empty
I wish
buckets.
that we could ship that. That would be harder to ship than the PC.
Right. So should we open the present that the guesser is gonna win as well?
That's a good idea.
good,
Yeah,
good,
cool.
good.
And so
Yeah.
then, okay. Steph, do you want to pick a present? Because we've all
This
picked
will be
one.
going with the prize pack that they're getting, the winner of the M&M competition.
And then the competition will be closing in 10 seconds as well.
winner of the? I missed that. What was it?
this goes with the prize pack of.
Headset, present, game,
Couple
two
of
games
video
that they
games,
want.
but they're going to get this as well.
So she's sizing up
She
how,
totally-
how
she's
good is
deciding
the
it,
prize
yeah.
pack. You're gonna get the
Like,
present.
you've already got good stuff in the prize pack, so yeah, I feel like I know where your brain's at.
Piece of
right
shit.
now. This competition is closing
Piece of shit. It's just I feel like it's relevant.
in
it's not a piece.
3, 2, 1. The competition is closed. Congratulations to everybody who entered. Gat, do you want to just shoot me a message and let me know who won?
So Gat knows the number as well. obviously,
Gat, yeah,
on
Gat
software.
is the only person who couldn't enter this because he knows.
Fair
He
enough.
knows how many
Thank you,
M&Ms.
Gat.
Him
Very
and I
selfless of you.
are the owners of the M&M knowledge.
We got to riff. We got to riff more because the bot's got to catch up to all the entries. So let's
okay.
let's open that bad boy.
Oh, he says that he can announce who won in chat using a fancy command, which is exciting. And he said, please hold. So open that and then we'll fancy command it.
You do it.
You want me to open it?
Yeah.
But you picked a crappy present.
Well, I
I'm
wrapped it.
joking.
None of them are that crappy.
That's true. So along with your prize pack that Nick announced before, the winner will also be receiving this fancy... Oh, it is another Cyberpunk
Nice.
bit of merch. It is a flatback, snapback? How do the kids call the hats these days?
Flatback, snapback, talking about butt crack.
Flexi Fit Tech. It is a
Cyberpunk hat.
with the logo that keeps popping up everywhere, but I don't know where it's actually from.
It's this. You know when they keep saying "Wake up, samurai"?
That's what they're referring to?
Yeah.
That's the samurai.
Yeah, I've seen it on jackets and stuff like that. A very trendy hat. You can wear this forwards or backwards, and wear it to keep the
You
sun
can
out of your
bend.
eyes.
You can bend the peak or not, as the.
No, you're not meant to bend.
Leave the
people
stickers
take-
on?
Take the labels off. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I bend them.
No, me too.
Bend them and take the sticker.
Because I come from the 90s when everyone bent them like this.
We used to put ours in a cup. That was
really?
the perfect way to
What?
bend them. So you
Oh,
would take
right, okay,
one that
yeah.
was already like a baseball cap,
Yeah.
and so you had a nice little like curve on it. You put it in the cup like that. I will not do that, but that is going in the prize pack as well for the lucky winner, who, if everything goes well, we might have to announce.
The
yes.
bot is just catching up. Gat is will let us know when we're good. I am fine with the flat and the not folding. I can't handle the stickers and the tags. There's a great Key and Peele sketch where they're constantly trying to, like someone comes out and it has the sticker and it has the tag and it basically ends up with like Key walking out and he's wearing the mannequin that's in a glass box that's wearing the cap on his head, which is very
That
nice.
just doesn't sit right.
Gus
on
is
my head.
styling it for you.
Okay, here we go, says Gat.
So
We've
gangster.
been all caught up.
Okie dokie.
The winner is Gat. We've handed all the power over to
Should we
you
say the
now.
number first?
Okay, that's a good way of doing it. So the correct answer is 4,424 M&Ms, and the person who had the closest guess with a guess of 4,356 was M and
Mandem.
M. What?
M&M?
Hang on.
No way.
It's at M and
M
M.
and M.
That can't be right. Is that a person?
That's amazing.
I don't believe it.
There's no way that could be right.
Not.
Gat?
M&M.
That's
that
a
you?
legitimate person.
Holy shit!
That's insane.
No way.
That's insane. M&M, show yourself.
It's crazy. Someone, and not only have they like made that account tonight, it's because they're an expert M&M counter.
Oh my god.
I've been trolling Twitch all night for an M&M count.
I've been just scrubbing channels for M&M content.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's M&M is there. Oh my god, I won. Yes, you did, you crazy fool.
4,424 was it?
So there, 4,424 M&Ms are in there.
Way off.
And then
Yeah, I guess like 11,000 or
You said
something.
12,000.
they guessed 4,356. I cannot believe
That is wonderful.
that is their name. Congratulations to M&M.
Syntax says they're legit. They've been following since July. So this isn't just like a new
Unbelievable.
They've been
account.
playing the long con.
This is why I fucking love being back. Congratulations, you've won yourself 2 copies of, or 2 games of your choice. Technically, you could get 2 copies of the same game.
2 copies of Dark Souls or Demon Souls.
You've won yourself an Intel prize pack, including a headset, mouse pad, and an Intel hoodie. You've won a back pocket mug, and you've won yourself a this cap right here.
Wear this
Cyberpunk.
with the hoodie.
There you go.
Repping all your current gaming threads.
And then we have won the real prize, which is a ton of M&Ms that we can now just
touch
eat. And we can
M&Ms.
finally eat, please.
Oh, that's the point, actually. It's amazing that is M and M.
So funny.
Incredible.
And weird and serendipitous.
So
M&Ms, if you don't get in contact with us now for a full year sponsorship for next year, I don't know what you're doing. Get off your asses and come and join the party.
unbelievable. Good question. How did you count them? By hand. Mm-hmm. That's how I did it.
He was counting them while we were building the PC.
That was mostly what I was doing. While I would come over, I took off the glass, and at one point I stopped to fight, and the rest of the time I'm there just one at a time.
He was staring straight ahead as he was counting as well, so it was quite eerie. But
He had a
did
good
job.
rhythm.
He did.
Okay, so before we finish up for the night, we did just want to quickly give away a couple more prizes. I feel like I want to give away some games as well.
Yeah.
Because we want to give away some games. So let's get a exclamation mark code in the chat. I don't know if we can pick multiple winners. We probably can't.
Wait,
But let's just do a few rounds of this. If we can do 3 rounds mods of the code giveaway.
I think you can roll like multiple times one.
Oh, can you?
I'm pretty sure.
That would be great because then that way we can just
Yeah, if we can get all entries of code, mods let us know if you can't do this, and then run for 3 winners from that.
Yeah.
From
that
that
would be
list.
fantastic.
That
yeah.
would be awesome.
Because we need to give away some games. This is for a copy of any game of your choice on any platform you want. You just let us know, and we will hook you up.
Unless you want like an N64 classic cartridge or like an Atari
Yeah.
copy. Don't know if we can help you out there. It would be helpful if it's current or last
When
year.
when we go to Tokyo and we go to the
Hot potatoes.
Super potato.
yeah, we'll go to Super Potato. We'll go and pick you something.
Yeah.
There.
Someone wants a buried copy of ET for the Atari. Like,
Yeah,
totally.
that's a lot of work.
I am impressed that people have, so far, all the winners of this have not requested, I would like the $176 version of Madden. They give you, like, a bunch of Ultimate Team
Yeah, a couple
packs.
of
Like,
2K
everyone's
games
just
in
been
there.
like, just give me that basic shit. Just
Yeah.
give me the $99.
No one wants NBA 2K1.
And to be clear, that's all we're getting you.
Yeah.
But it's very lovely and modest of you to not request the ridiculous thing.
To make us have to say,
Yeah,
actually, it's just going to be
Someone's
the
like,
standard version.
I want a WoW subscription for life.
Totally, yeah. All right, let's close this comp in 3, 2, 1, and it is closed now. Let's roll those rolls a couple of times, and I am excited to see who is winning and what they are going to be. What they are going to.
The Deluxe 98.
The Deluxe 98.
There's a
has
name
won a
I
copy
know.
of a game.
Congratulations.
Well done, the Deluxe. Congratulations. Any game. I'm writing down your names right now.
You can let us know in the chat right now.
Secret Finder.
Secret_Finder.
Well done.
Congratulations, Secret Finder.
And one more to go.
Riotous Lemon.
Riotous Lemon.
Do like a good name as well. we had a couple last week, which was like Saltiest Pretzel. Now we've got Riotous Lemon.
Riotous Lemon.
Yeah, I do like a nice adjective to a sort of an inert object or something.
Yeah.
Or an edible.
Or an edible. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
works
that's
well.
good too.
That's like when I pick a wine, I get an obscure animal playing an equally obscure sport. So it's like a frog playing polo.
Croquet, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's a good bottle. I don't know if it is, but
That's
it's like...
so true.
It works well.
It's like
You
a
see,
chicken playing lawn bowls. and
A
stuff.
little more obscure. If you got a lemur and that lemur's playing is curling, you're like, oh,
Does he have
okay.
to win the
Exactly.
conversation?
You were trying to just help him.
trying to
You're
chicken
trying to contribute.
participating
Trying to
in
make
the
his
banter.
yeah.
his ridiculous
He had to
observation.
Yeah.
one up
Shit
you.
wine. I went with the one with a chicken on the label.
I cannot believe that you were like, here's my observation. I'm like, yeah, encouraging it and being like validating you as a person. You're like, actually, no, that's not good. Here's a better version.
His better version is this totally hypothetical.
Oh my God.
Well done to all the winners.
Congratulations.
I just keep seeing Daddy Deluxe. Okay, that's the Deluxe.
Deluxe,
So well done to you guys. Now we're going to run more, and it's going to be for a couple of presents as well. We might do 2. Oh, how many presents?
We've only got a few left. There's maybe a couple other things, but we could do a big extravaganza. And I think next week
Save
we
it for
could
next
get
week. Okay, cool. We'll save it
We're
for
still going
next
to do more
week.
next week.
Okay, great. Perfect. Then that means we are wrapping up for the evening. Unless
Nice.
anyone else has anything that they want to add?
No, this was a lovely episode.
What about a wombat
giving
playing
stuff
water
away.
polo?
He gets it. He gets it.
I don't think wombats can swim like that.
Yeah, but that's what
why
makes it
it's a-
interesting.
that's
They're
why it's an
very
interesting
heavy. They
bottle.
would sink and
The
they have
label
short
is
legs.
a wombat with that little weird
That
cap
would
on.
concern me, and I
it's
wouldn't
going
buy
in the
that
water.
wine.
Yep.
You know?
The label is actually a wombat dead at the bottom of a pool.
Yeah.
I would say that your system, Gus, is flawed.
I would buy a Shiraz called Drowned Wombat. That sounds like a label.
Yeah, that's.
Tell me I'm wrong.
That's very
pretty
Adelaide as
hipster.
well.
Yep.
That's
very
Barossa
hipster.
Valley
Just ping me. I'll label your
Valley.
wine for you.
for sure. They're definitely drowning wombats in the Barossa Valley.
Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out this evening and having some fun with us. We hope that you have, and we hope that you won some prizes. I mean, we know that a small percentage of you did, but all of you were eligible, and that's the most important thing. A massive thank you to our sponsors as well, Intel and PlayStation as well, PlayStation Plus. The competition is running this month. A reminder that you can enter the Red Dead Online PS
say that
Plus
again? You
Plays
wanna say that again?
competition. Yeah, let's bring it up again. The challenge for December is to show off your posse. Just snap a screenshot of your Red Dead posse, share your entry on Twitter using the hashtag PS Plus Plays for your chance to win a Red Dead prize pack and the PS Plus Plays Champions merch pack as well. Head to PlayStation.com/Plus Plays for more info. And the free PlayStation Plus games this month are Rocket Arena, Just Cause 4, and Worms Rumble.
Worms Rumble.
I love Worms.
He,
I love
he loves
worms.
worms.
He just loves worms.
He just loves them so much.
And if you love Worms, you can play Worms Rumble online multiplayer over the weekend of Saturday 19th of December until Sunday the 20th at 11:59 p.m. because it's free multiplayer weekend on PlayStation Plus for everyone to be able to jump on and play online for freezies.
Tear yourself out of Night City for a little bit of social interaction, be it worm-based or Red Dead-based, and then get back into that weird sex-charged city and find yourself a dildo or
Find
two.
some more dildos.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
I don't know if I could do any better than that, so that was pretty good. We will be sticking around for the post show, which will be coming up in a second. Please enter the Intel and Back Pocket PC giveaway. We are so excited to be giving away this PC next week. We're very excited to be going through a lot of the entries next week as well, which should be so much fun and a nice way to cap off the year as well.
Big episode too, it's just in terms of like the amount of stuff we've got to get through in a fun celebratory celebratory way.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
we might even, we might leave it till next week, go through the plans for what everyone can expect over the following month in terms of
Oh, yeah, good idea.
some big content drops from us, but we'll leave that to next week.
We've banked some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you as well to our mods who have been tirelessly working behind the scenes also to manage details, write code for competitions and stuff, and managing the Discord as well. It's just
Heroic
an
effort.
amazing thing that happens all the time
Totally.
that we can't say thank you enough for.
Yeah, I feel like obviously the mods are people that a lot of you would know pretty well, and that they're all super friendly and lovely. Sometimes your experience with the mods is a bit of like, hey, this is what we're doing, like this is happening, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of organizing, and that's their sort of front-facing thing. But like, I cannot tell you how helpful they are just in terms of like the day-to-day running of the Discord and the show, like Steph said, where it's things like, hey, we want to do this on the show, and then it's instantly like 4 people replying to us going, have you thought about doing this way? Hey, I could help you out in this way, blah, blah, blah. It's just like a phenomenal group of people doing that.
This smooth running ship like has a lot of crew members, and they are the ones who are really keeping it going because it's like,
Yeah, and a community of this size would just fall to pieces without that. So
Imagine Gus as the community manager.
Yeah. Imagine someone going, I have a problem. And he goes, actually, do you have a problem or do you have a pickle that you're in? A pickle is probably a better word than a problem.
here,
to
allow
use
me
in this
to
scenario.
draw you a picture to help. This is what I've provided. Here is a post of a funny GIF. I hope everything will work out. That is how I would help the community. It would not work.
The boobs are to be looked at. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.